The tournament. Hey now, what's going on? It's your boy JG. Wait, yeah, it's Jay. I'm publisher at auburnsports.com. I'm also known as the Commodore. I'm trying to keep my microphone low so we can watch the NBA Jam thing unfold as well. What up, guys? It's a beautiful day here at my home in lovely Central Alabama. It was a little chilly, but it's beautiful. It's a sun-drenched Sunday, and you know what it means. It's time for some March Madness, yo. The bracket will be revealed in a matter of moments. We never know when Auburn is actually going to get their name called because of the way that it works. Got to make myself taller here, don't I? Yes, so we will find out in the next 30 minutes, I would say, exactly where the Auburn Tigers will be going in the NCAA tournament. This is my favorite time of year. I grew up, as I told you guys, in a basketball household. My parents are Louisville people, so back in the 80s, we would watch Louisville Cardinals play and whatnot when we could. They didn't have a lot of satellite back in those days. And March Madness was always the biggest thing for me. So I am fired up. This is my favorite time of year. Stoked to be going back on the road with the Auburn Tigers, wherever they may go. And I thought I would bring along some show and tell before we get started today. These are all my press passes that I've had in the NCAA tournament. Not that you guys give a shit, but I thought it'd be fun. This is my Final Four when I was covering for the when they got screwed on the double dribble. That was a good time with Ben Wolk. This is the 1998 Final Four. I got limited access on that one. I was a student at the UK, but it means I watched from the upper deck. But I didn't really care. I got to do my interviews. This is from the 97 championship game. Look at that. Row 1, seat 13. That's right, baby. It was in Indianapolis 97. And then we got the Auburn Tigers ones, the Albany. Oh, yes, when they lost to Syracuse by 1 point. My man Bird was the man in that game. Was also Marquise Daniels. Tampa, earlier in that same regional when Auburn beat Wake Forest and St. Joe's. We were all shocked. Let's see. St. Petersburg. Oh, that was the year that that Kentucky beat Duke. Yeah, I've got a look at this shit, man. These Duke fans are right below me when I was in the press box. Look at this, man. They left it behind after Kentucky beat them. Guess what? It didn't happen. Also, they had just to date them a little bit. Who's your daddy, Battier? That's the best they could do. The other ones I have, I don't know what else I've got. Indianapolis with Auburn in 99. Yeah, went with Kelvin Sims back then. Atlanta, I think that was 98 with UK. Knoxville, that was definitely the Auburn Tigers when they lost to Ohio State, Scooney Penn and Michael Redd. 2005, this was in Cleveland. I had to cover Bammers back then. We were in the newspaper business. We had to cover Bammers. And then Minneapolis, where I saw Third Eye Blind live, and they were absolute dog shit. Anyway, guys, my favorite time of year. I love covering this stuff. I hope you guys love reading about it because we're going to be writing about it and talking about it. I'm freaking fired up, yo. Let's see. Snobber asked me, did I see Shane Lowry's ace on 17 a few minutes ago? No, I did not, bro. I was getting the show ready. And I'm not really into golf as much, maybe. Okay, let's move over to our main page here and just kind of give a basic review. Thank you, of course, to our early super chatters, Cleveland Brown, who's always here for us. No matter where we land, it's all or nothing. That's a great way to look at it, and it's true too. Cleveland Brown, appreciate you, bro. And Cleveland, he's a very involved Auburn fan. That's what I love about him. All right, bracket is being revealed. This is the West region, and I don't expect Auburn to be out there. Everyone has predicted, the talking heads anyway, have predicted that the Auburn Tigers will be in Greenville. And they broke up the regions, it's probably about 10 years ago when they go into pods. It used to be if you were in the West region, you were playing in the West. But they've changed it up to kind of alleviate some of the travel snags. And so now you have Pod League going. Boise State against Memphis is a nice Thursday showdown in Portland. In that West region. Sam H. jumping in with a super chat as well. Sam H. is always here for us. We love that. UConn Huskies going to play in Buffalo. Let's do this. That's what I'm talking about. Let's give him some applause. We love Sam H. What an absolute legend. Snobbard said, I wish you would step back from that ledge, my friend. Of course, a line from the Third Eye Blind banger, Jumper, which is actually a solid song, but man, to hear them play it live was rough. It was very, very rough. Sam H. says, Jay is a basketball man. That is true. The Arkansas Razorbacks are going to play in the West region, but they're going to open in Buffalo, New York as a 4 seed. That's about right for them, I think. They draw the Vermont Catamounts, who they are really, really good. Yeah, I watched them play in their semifinal and their final. Bam Bam's going back out to San Diego, where I covered them, right? Yeah, I covered them in San Diego in 2005. That was back when newspapers would, you know, break up the coverage. Like if Auburn wasn't doing anything, they'd say, hey, you mind going out there with Alabama? I'd be like, yeah, okay, whatever. Spicy P says shit Jay's ahead of me. Okay, I better be careful then. I don't want to spoil anything. They have not announced Auburn yet. Anyway, Bam Bams are going to play either Rutgers or Notre Dame in San Diego on Friday. Interesting. I would love to be in San Diego myself. But it's all good. So we will go. We'll immediately go. We'll start doing some Ken Palm when we see Auburn. And also, we can do some of that synergy scouting and get some really good ideas of how these teams play. They're still revealing that San Diego pod in the West region, which is not going to involve the Auburn Tigers. Christian Clemente's Montana State Bobcats, however, a 14-seed, are going to play Texas Tech in San Diego on Friday. All right, here we go. A little Greenville action. I still don't think this is going to be Auburn, but yeah. This is Greenville action in the West region, so it's a pod in Greenville for the West. Oh, and Davidson got in despite having lost their conference championship game to the Richmond Spiders. And Duke is going to be in Greenville. I figured Duke was going to be in Greenville. You know, got to keep Coach K happy. So I guess there will be two number twos in Duke. I mean, which is fine. They're not in the same bracket. I wonder where that region funnels to. You guys should probably know that. They're taking on the Cal State Fullerton Titans. Long-time college World Series stalwarts. All right, cool. Buffalo. Auburn not part of that. That is Ruxy Poo thinks that the West region is pretty stacked. Yeah, you got some good teams there, right? UConn is a team that obviously you got Gonzaga. But Memphis is a team that's kind of like, if they ever click, they could be a real pain in the ass. UConn is a good ball club. New Mexico State is a good small team. Vermont is a really good small team. I don't think too much of the Bam Bams. Texas Tech is a team that nobody wants to mess with. Davidson is a really just disgustingly difficult 10 for Michigan State. So yeah, that's a pretty good bracket right there. I agree with you, Ruxy. Gonzaga, Duke, Texas Tech, and Arkansas. And Arkansas a little disappointing in the semifinals, I suppose. But that's, you all know that's a team, man. They got players, and they've got big, quick guards. So it just kind of depends on the matchups. I don't know enough about these other teams that they would be facing to know if that's a good matchup or not. I'm really, really hoping that Auburn gets that 2, and then they end up playing the 15 seed, which would be St. Peter's. That is my hope, because the St. Peter's are the Peacocks, and I think that would be perfect to have Auburn playing the Peacocks. So I think that would be really badass. Hayden has the right attitude, though. He says, JG, let's find out whose season we get to end. That's what I'm talking about right there. That's the kind of positivity I love from you, Hayden, and that's why we love you, bro. Thanks for tuning in today on this Sunday. So, end of the regular season, or whatever. Before we go into the tournament, Auburn is, as you can see there on your screen, is a 10 seed, or the number 10 team in the country, I should say, by Ken Palm. Which I'm not 100% sure is fair, but because I definitely think Auburn's better than UCLA. The other ones I don't necessarily disagree with. I think Auburn and Texas Tech are about right, and I think Kansas is probably, I'm saying on paper, probably better. Baylor's better. Houston, I still can't figure them out. Kentucky, I don't know. I didn't realize Kentucky was that high. I don't know how I feel about that. I actually think Auburn's better than Kentucky, but Arizona's a real problem. I don't I don't really know how you beat them, but we'll find out. They just have so much size. They just throw it inside, and they've got a dude from Mali that was. I mean, UCLA has some size too, and I was watching that game last night, and they just can't really get anywhere near him. He's just too strong and too big. You know, my wife was asking me about this the other day. My wife grew up in Louisville. She's a basketball girl, and she was like, you know, you keep talking about how Auburn is kind of a finesse team. You know, are they ever tough? I mean, do they ever have like these big old truck guys? You know, like somebody like the guy from Mali who plays for Arizona, or some just big old, you know, like a Simeon Bowers, right? They could just power people out. And I was like, you know, no, not really. They don't do that because, you know, Walker's a terrific center, but he's not a power guy. I mean, you know, he is what he is. So, yeah, maybe that is something that, like, BP kind of undervalues. You know what I mean? Like, big, nasty 4s and 5s. And I'm not saying no discredit to either of the guys they got right now. I mean, when Jabari wants to come to Auburn, you take Jabari. I mean, I get it, man. He's a stud. I'm not trying to rag on him, but he's not a power guy. Maybe he should have a power guy in there at some point. I'm not saying he needs to replace Jabari this year, you know what I'm saying? If he had signed somebody, I'm not ragging that way. I'm saying, hey, maybe Jabari and like a big dude. J.O. says Bowers, the power guard. Yeah, Simeon was an interesting case. What I mean by that is he's just a very powerful player, right? He could just basically back almost anybody down with his ass and then get them close to the bucket and do damage. He's a very, very tough, physical, strong, brawny dude. He had bullet holes in him. You don't necessarily have to have that, but maybe a few really strong guys. And you look at this team, and there's really nobody that I would say is very strong, right? Like a physical, strong-ass player. Note I did not say strong-ass offers. By the way, Will Wade, what about that, huh? I was floored. I thought LSU was just going to walk the walk with him, like, indefinitely, and yikes, they fired him the other day. Was it yesterday that they fired him? Yeah, that dude right there, 35, is a mess for Arizona. They call him Baby Shaq, but we've heard that before. He certainly looks like a Zion Williamson type player. Ay, ay, ay. Spicy P says he was on ESPN, not CBS. Yeah, CBS is where it's going to be coming out popping for reals. All right, so they're going to the South region. Now, I think Auburn is going to be in the Midwest region, so this may not be them either. These are the other pods out in San Diego. Looks like it's going to be Bryant. Didn't Auburn play Bryant a couple years ago? They played some team in South Florida that was called they were like the Parrots or something. I don't remember. That couldn't have been them because they weren't the Bulldogs. Definitely weren't the Bulldogs. Like Auburn lost the first game of the year. Remember that? It was like an exhibition game, and I was like, what? Maybe in 19, something like that. Poor Will Wade, Sam Howell says. Yeah, not so much. That's what happens when you cheat constantly, and it sounds like it was even worse, right? It sounds like it was even worse than we realized. That he was making offers through his wife, through a joint bank account he had with his wife, to the fiance of a player, of a prospect, I should say. I mean, yikes, dude. LSU got that letter of inquiry or whatever, that notice of allegations, I should say, and then we're like, we're gone, you know. Will G says during the 2019 season, Jay, thanks. Was it Bryant? It wasn't Bryant, though. It was somebody with a name like that, though. All right, so the Houston Cougars are going to be a 5 seed. Look at that, guys. They're a freaking 5 seed. And KenPom has them as the 4th best team in the country. What is that? I'm really confused by that. Oh, shit, and they got to play UAB in Pittsburgh. That's a 5-12 matchup. Man, Houston got jobbed. Dude, they're good. Will G says it was Bryant. Oh, my gosh. I had no idea. I mean, not for sure, you know. Houston UAB, man. Andy Kennedy's a badass. I love him. All right, so still no Auburn. Still no Auburn. J.O. says Will Wade should have done it through the church. I feel like that's a loaded story there, but I'm not going to get too deep into that. Thanks, Will G, again, for straightening me out on that. I could have sworn. I didn't know they were the Bulldogs. Sorry about that. Let's see. Auburn 2019. It probably won't even be on here. Yeah, it's not on here because it was an exhibition. That must have been as a Sheriff Buford T. Justice, that's an attention getter. Colorado State Rams they're good. They were better than my San Diego State Aztecs this year. All right, Indianapolis. Still in the South region here. Yeah, I don't expect this to be Auburn. I still think Auburn's going to be Midwest, playing in Greenville and then going to Chicago. Indeed. I've been there. I'm very stoked to say. I've been to the United Center there in Chicago. Tennessee gets a 3 seed. Barry. Thank you, Jack. Jeez Louise. Thank you. It was Barry. Yeah, I knew they had a parrot or something like that. Wow, I cannot believe Houston got a 5 seed. Sheesh. Talk about underseeded. I'm telling you, Houston's a problem, man. I don't know what that is. That really surprised me. The Longwood Lancers. I'd not have been able to tell you what their mascot was. How about that? They're taking on the Tennessee Vols as a 14 seed there. This is still the South region in the Pittsburgh, PA pod. The Ohio State Buckeyes, who are like, they're okay. They're about like Bammer. Kind of like A&M used to be. Taking on Loyola Chicago. Oh, I'd take Loyola on that one. That Loyola team's a mess. I know Auburn beat them earlier this year, but that's one of their best wins, honestly. It's definitely their best win that was not at home. 100%. I'm still drinking a little bit here, guys. I hope you don't judge me. Villanova Wildcats, a team that I think a whole lot of. That's a team that just, they go head-to-head all the time out there in the Big East and playing good teams, and they just hang in there all the time, man. They're a real problem. I like them a lot. They ended up winning that Big East tournament that I thought Providence was going to win. Did I say? Yeah. And then Providence absolutely laid an egg. I think Creighton just crushed them. All right, so we got half the bracket finished here, and Auburn has not been revealed yet, just because I think they're in the Midwest region. They've done West and South so far. Looking at the South region, best matchup there, probably Houston UAB, although I hate it for UAB. They've been really good this year, but I don't know. They're not ready for Houston, I don't think. We'll find out, though. Not trying to hate. Sam 8 says Sister Jean is lucky this time of year. We're going to take that the best way we can. Snowburn says Barry is from Rome, Georgia. My God, could I have missed this anymore? No, I couldn't have. Will G was confused as well. Hey, man, nobody's more confused than me about that one, so that's on me totally. Scotty says, drink up, my man. Always supporting my alcohol habit. Appreciate that, bro. D. Lucky says, Auburn not in a bracket with Arizona is a win. Yeah, if you're looking long range, to me, that is the team. If you're looking at the Ken Palm rankings over here on the right, that's the team that Auburn would least like to face. They don't want any part of Arizona. And I don't think they want any part of Purdue either, just because of the way Purdue plays. Purdue's got 2 big dudes plus a really good guard. Well, he's like a wing, I guess. And then they have like this oddly shaped sharpshooter, 3-point sharpshooter dude who's like Eastern European or something. They got a lot of big dudes. They got a lot of Simeons. They do, seriously. J.O. says bunker posters probably have Auburn as the first team out. It does seem that there's been a lot of people kind of cheering against Auburn on our own board, right? It's been weird. It's been really, really weird. Shane says, isn't Barry NAIAT too? Shane, thank you for continuing to bring some facts to this discussion. Can you believe? Yes, they are. Of course they are. Of course. That's why I wrote the whole story about it. So why would I sit here? I don't know, man. Maybe when you get to be almost 50 years old, you'll understand. I don't have any excuse beyond that. I really don't. Ruxy Poo says South region was pretty weak. Let's see. Villanova's in that region, so they're a problem. Houston was in that region. They're a problem. Loyola Chicago, I mean, they're good, but you're like not terrified of them. Shit, I don't have it in front of me anymore. But I can get it in front of me. Again, come here. Do what you I feel like such an old man here. My TV won't work. Gene, can you get me my gummers? All right, so Colorado State, Michigan, Tennessee's pretty good. Loyola Chicago's pretty good. Villanova's real good. Who else we got on the top of that bracket? Arizona, of course, is a problem, Bruxy. I know they're the number one. They should be. Seton Hall, TCU. Houston's really good. I can't see this other one because my little banner's in Illinois. I don't like the way Illinois is playing right now. So, yeah, Villanova, Arizona, Tennessee, if you believe in them as a Final Four type team, and Houston's really all you got there. So good call on that, Ruxy. I'm with you. Uncle says the hairline is still phenomenal, JG. I appreciate you, bro, saying that. As I was dating myself very badly with my Final Four stuff earlier. Had a really good time covering that stuff back in the day. I came over to Auburn. I was like, oh, yeah, I'll just continue covering the NCAA tournament at Auburn. And then I did, actually, for a couple years. And then it was like, what, they didn't get the tournament from, 04 to, 18? Something like that. It's crazy they would go that far. Horace notes that the Bam Bams get Texas Tech in the second round. I didn't realize that. I mean, I looked at it and just didn't think about it. Yeah, enjoy that one, guys. That's going to be fun. They're good. They're exceptionally well coached by a guy who's never been a head coach before, which is really tells you something about the depth of coaching in top college basketball. I mean, there's so many guys out there. I know I was watching the Corpus Christi game last night. Dude's my age, and he's like a first-time head coach. That was incredible. And they're great. I mean, they won their league, and they hadn't won in 15 years. That's just, there's so many guys out there that can do that. And girls, too, in the girls' game, for sure. I mean, Kyra Elsie getting Kentucky all the way to an SEC tournament championship is incredible. I mean, you wouldn't even think of her, right? You're thinking about great SEC coaches, probably not thinking of Kyra Elsie. But you should. Johnny Harris, of course, kind of in a rebuild right now. No, she's not kind of. She's in a full rebuild, taking over a program that I think was really struggling. She lost some girls in the transition, but I think Crocky Poo for sure. A lot of us, I'm more of a from 10,000 feet women's basketball fan in a way. I don't watch them every game or anything, but they sure seem competitive this year in a way that they weren't last year, and they ended up beating Tennessee at home this year, which is a huge win. So even though they finished last in the SEC, I'm talking about women's basketball at Auburn. Some encouraging signs, and I have no doubt that Coach Johnny's going to go out there and recruit, because that's kind of what she's known for. And I think she put together a pretty decent roster this year. But give her a couple years to put some more, some more height, or as Tuberville would say, some height on that roster, and to see what happens. The Kansas Jayhawks, a team I have never liked. There's never been one time in my life where I've been like, I really like Kansas. I just don't like them. All right, Midwest. This is where I think Auburn's going to be down in the bottom of that bracket. So they're going to have Kansas as the number one ahead of them. And that's not a bad thing. If you're looking at number one so far, Kansas is more tolerable than the others. Man, these pods are all over the place. Let's see. Spicy Pieces. Bama got to beat. What? Bama got to beat Notre Dame. Got you before getting a mouthful of the Red Raiders. I like that. There's my, they were my fourth choice out of high school, San Diego State Aztecs. I grew up fairly close to San Diego State. It was across the valley from me, and I kind of pull for them. They're taking on the Creighton Blue Jays, home of Trey Alexander, who, if you remember, was a longtime Auburn commit and an Auburn signee. And you're thinking to yourself, oh, I wish Auburn had another shooter, right? Was it Trey Alexander? No, he's actually shooting very poorly this year, but he plays for him a lot. In fact, I think he starts for Creighton. Let me go ahead and take a look real quick before I lie to you guys again. I don't mean to. Creighton is the number 55 team in the KenPom rankings. Let's see. Where are you? Creighton. He's now going by Tyshawn Alexander. How about that? 36% from three. Hell, shit, that's not that bad. He's actually been pretty damn good. He must have really been better. 'Cause remember, we checked on him like a month ago, and he wasn't shooting very well, so he must have been hitting a lot more lately. I'm not trying to get into this too deep. Oh, shit. Yeah, you're right. His last 5 games, 4 of 11, 3 of 5, 2 of 8, 4 of 8, 3 of 9. These are all from 3. Yeah, he could have been helpful, right? Why am I bringing that up? That's not even him. Jeez, Louise J. What are you talking about? Fucking idiot. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not even going to get into that. What am I knowing about? Let's see. Jo says, Jay, you lived in Spring Valley out there. No, I lived in Tirasana. Oh, here we go. This is the region that they're going to be in. All right, so LSU is going to be in that little cluster there. In San Diego, I lived in Tierra Santa, which is right up above Jack Murphy, and so San Diego State was like on the other side of that big-ass valley. Yeah, we figured Wisconsin was going to be there in that area. So, let's see, LSU's got to be in a weird situation right now without their head coach. And Iowa State's pretty good. Stu Pup says LSU. I guess you're surprised LSU getting in without a coach as a 6. I mean, that's about what you would have thought, right? If you guys remember, man, Colgate, back in the day, they had a big man named Adonis Foyle. He was like the best player ever to play at Colgate. It was a big story at the time. He ended up playing the NBA. All right, this is where I think Auburn's going to be right here. Let's just kind of see who they're matched up with. God, please let it be St. Peter's. All right, USC, the Trojans, are going to be the 7 seed there in Greenville. And then you've got a 10 seed, which is going to be somebody like, I don't know, maybe some Big Ten team that's like solid. No, the Miami Hurricanes finished 4th in the regular season in the ACC. They're not bad. They're not bad. Yeah, they're really not bad. All right, so here's the Auburn matchup. Please, God, let it be St. Peter's. Yes, Auburn is going to be in Greenville playing Friday. I'm going to show some Auburn highlights. All right, so there we go. And they're going to be playing St. Peter's. St. Peter's, please, 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 please. Please, St. Peter's. Do it right. Jacksonville State. Oh, shit, okay. That's kind of cool. You have that kind of local thing going on right there. That's pretty cool. Jacksonville State's a weird situation, though, because they didn't, not only, they won their regular season in their conference, but they lost their tournament, and they weren't even in the final. Bellarmine from Louisville actually won that tournament, but since they were transitioning up to Division I, they couldn't qualify for the NCAA tournament. So Jacksonville State, who was the regular season champion in that league, ended up going to the NCAA tournament. That's cool, though. Mr. Matzer says, not a terrible bracket. Let me try to get a picture of this so I don't lose it. Oh, well, I could just hit pause, couldn't I, Jay? Great. But then I can't see the Auburn one. Okay, so this bracket, and this is not bad. This is not bad. LSU, Iowa State. I'm talking about, this is the top half of that bracket that Auburn's chucked in. LSU and Iowa State. Auburn, I'm not worried about LSU at all. Iowa State's solid, but they're not, like, dangerous. I mean, they're not, like, going to be going to the Final Four, I don't think. Wisconsin Badgers, I mean, you kind of know what you're getting with Wisconsin, right? Greg Gard, slow it down. Not necessarily super big, though, but they will slow you down. And then Auburn will try to speed them up if they were to face them. Colgate, I mean, whatever. USC and Miami, I would definitely take Miami in that game, I think. USC was kind of like definitely like the third best team out there in the Pac-12, but like pretty far off UCLA and Arizona for me. And then Miami's a team, I have to be honest with you, I didn't watch them play this year. I mean, they were 4th in the ACC this year in a team where it was really only 2 really good teams from that league. So, and then Auburn and Jacksonville State, which is a really cool matchup, I think. I think it's really cool, actually. Let's, I tell you what, let me get over here to Synergy, and we'll take a real quick look at, look at that War Eagle 0008. What a badass. All right, Jacksonville State. In the Ken Palm, they are ranked 110, and they have definitely been better in the second half of their season. Let me go ahead and get a screenshot so we can take a look, just kind of this is kind of what they look like as a statistical anomaly, as the kids would say. Let's go ahead and move over to our examination page. And here are what Jacksonville State's stats look like. This is the Ken Palm, 4 factors. You guys know how it goes. Looks like they are, they're okay on offense, better on defense. Poor three-point shooting team, which is probably okay. Interesting that Spicy P says they can shoot the 3. They're definitely in the bottom 20% overall, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they may have been hotter here lately. I don't know. So their best attribute anywhere, statistically speaking, is they don't get blocked. When you're talking about offensive blocks, it means you don't get blocked. And then defensively, they're still pretty good on the blocks. So they must have some decent size. And you can see their style components. They're just slow. They don't move very fast. Interesting. Huge percentage of their. Look at that. This down here point distribution percentage of total points. Look at their 3-point. They don't shoot threes. They're number 3 in the country as far as percentage of their points coming from 2-pointers. How about that? So they are definitely going to be like kind of a mid-range ball club, aren't they? Let's take a look at their team profile here real quick. Look at the dudes that play for them a lot. I can't get all these stats on here because it's just going to be too small. Boom, boom. We'll give it a shot, though. Fuck it. Why not? We'll do it live. All right, so these are, according to Ken Palm, these are the statistical profiles of their top players. So just taking a gander, you don't see anybody there that's a big three-point threat, really. Marlon Hunter looks like at 37%, but he doesn't shoot very many, only 51 this whole season. You know, back in the day, you think for Bryce Brown, for instance, and Jared, they were both shooting 250 to 300 or more. So that's somebody that doesn't shoot a lot of threes. And you got some dudes, 2-point percentage, 556 for their 6'7" guy. That's pretty damn good. That's like Walker Kessler range. He's probably actually higher than that, but you know what I mean. 55% from 2 is really good. Look at everybody. Jamal Gregory, who's a guard, is going to be shooting 49% from 2. So, yeah, this is something that coach is really, really pushing. To pay very close attention to your shooting percentage inside of the arc. What else jumps out to y'all here? Detorian Ware. Let's see what's going on with him. I'm going to leave those stats up there for now and just kind of see if Detorian Ware has been playing. He has been playing. Yes. Wait, what? I don't understand what's going on with him. He must not be on the team. Yeah, that's some kind of a weird deal there. Wait, did I miss something? Did I make a mistake here? Yeah, I did make a mistake. Jeez, guys, I'm sorry. That's totally my fault. I made a mistake there. This is what happens when you're doing live TV. And Spicy P may have been completely correct on this. You guys are alerting me to this now. I don't know anything about Jacksonville State. All right, here are the actual numbers. These are the dudes that are actually playing for Jacksonville State right now. I apologize for that earlier snag, guys. My bad, totally. Yeah, they do have some three-point shooters now. Spicy P, you were right on the money, brother. Wow, a 449 guy. Woo, that is hot. And their top player is a 36.6%, which is not bad. Boy, they have a lot of dudes that play, don't they? They got some players there. I'd like to know more about this team. Sorry about that, throwing you guys off earlier. That was terrible. That is terrible. Let me get this. We got a couple super chats coming up. War Eagle 0008, who you know and love. As good a draw as we could hope for. War Damn Eagle. I would agree. This is a pretty good draw, I got to admit, for the Auburn Tigers. I don't see anybody in this. I mean, the path to the Sweet 16 is as clear as it could be, as reasonably could be. I mean, you got to beat this first game against Jacksonville State, a team that's going to shoot some threes. Obviously, Spicy P was right on that. And then the second game, you're looking at Southern Cal or Miami. You know, two teams that were kind of like also rans in top-heavy conferences. It's hard for me to get a really good feel on those two teams. But anyway, Spicy P was right on the money here. This is definitely a three-point shooting team. Let me get the correct stats up here for you guys. I erroneously showed you some outdated information on the Jacksonville State Gamecocks. And now we will actually look at the correct information. And I, again, apologize profusely for that. That's what happens when I go live sometimes. Wish I had an editor, huh? Wah, wah. All right, so these are the actual information here. Wargle 0008, we love you, bro. Thank you. These are the real numbers right here. I promise. These are the actual real numbers. All right, so it's okay on offense, below average on defense. Remember, there's about 350 teams, so if they're ranked 178, they're right in the middle. Definitely a slower team offensively. Tons of three-point shooting, like you said, Spicy P. Pretty good on 2 points. Free throws, not so good. Not a ton of high. Look at their free throw defense is really good. They do a good job of waving their hands, and they have certain insults that they're able to use. It's interesting, at 356, they're probably number one in the country on that. Yeah, their free throw defense is terrible. How about that? They need to learn something better to say. Wow. Lots of three-point shooting. Very little two-point shooting. Free throws, not a big part of what they do. How about that? Mr. Matzer says the East bracket is not a good bracket to be in. I haven't had a chance to see that one yet. Kyle L. Is asking if we could possibly end Coach K. God, is that possible? Please tell me it is. I don't have the bracket in front of me. I need to get it up. Let me check. Wait, hold on. That didn't sound right. Let me see if I can get this bracket pulled up here. Okay, I don't have it in front of me. I'm not able to get it set up. Dang. Trying to get a bracket pulled up here. It's still just too early. I don't have a lot of brackets. I don't have a lot of information here. They're just doing all the the tweets about you're in and all this blah blah blah. I mean, we know what Auburn's looking at here. They're looking at a Jacksonville State team that shoots a whole lot of three-pointers, which is going to be taxing for the defense. But the good news is that Auburn is generally Auburn's problem is size, right? That's their biggest problem is size. And a team that's going to shoot that many three-pointers, they're not particularly tall. I mean, you just wouldn't think they would be, and they're not. Let's go ahead and pull up their depth chart over the last 5 games, and you can kind of get a feel for what the kind of guys they're putting out there. Let me close that out and pull this up. This is their depth chart over the last 5 games. Let's see. Yes, they got a 6'10 center, 6'7", 6'3", 6'3", 6'1". There you go. They don't have the size that you would normally be worried about. Particularly at wing, man. 6'3", 6'3", as their depth chart at wing is, Devin's a lot taller than that. Al's going to be Al's probably 6'5". Yeah, that's going to be nice. Auburn's just going to have to be very careful on the... Yeah, Crocky Poo says, I've always said Auburn's problem is physicality. I'm glad that you agree with me on that, or that I'm glad that we agree, I should say, because to me, that's the thing that they've really been lacking, and you're not worried about that specifically. But these dudes will absolutely shoot the ball. And if they have one of those days, and I know we don't necessarily see them a lot because we follow Auburn, but what a great name, though. Is their 4th-string center is Jay Powell. What a great name. Obviously, I like the name Jay. And then it kind of sounds like PayPal, but it's really just Jay Powell. It looks like A&M was left off. Unbelievable. Crocky Poo says Kentucky got St. Peter's. How about that? Crocky Poo. St. Peter's. Why did Kentucky get St. Peter's? Auburn was destined to play them. Also, shock and awe that Texas A&M was left out. I also feel that way. I feel like Texas A&M deserves it more than Alabama. That's just I'm just off the cuff. I'm just saying. Crocky Poo, of course, jumping in with a 2 seed. 2. That's good, man. He says, if I see any of you in Bon Secours, I will hug you without warning. Be prepped. My man. Going back to some stuff that I missed earlier, Taxman says we're a 3-point shooting team too, just not a 3-point making team. You're about right on that, honestly. Auburn Gal 98 was laughing that Kentucky got St. Peter's. What kind of a bracket did they get? Who else do they have? I was trying to pull one up, girl, but I couldn't find it, like an actual bracket. And I wasn't going to go through my DVR because I'm live on the air right now, and I didn't want to screw up again like I did with the Jacksonville State shit from 3 years ago. That was terrible. That's tough with Texas A&M though. Jo said they may not kill us on the boards. How do we match up with Wisconsin? Spicy Poo says, I'll tell you what. Let's bounce out. All right, so let me clean this up just a little bit here. Yeah. Come here, buddy. And we've already taken a look at Jacksonville State. I think we got a pretty good idea what they've got. They're not very tall. They shoot a lot of threes. And that's kind of the way they go. They're not necessarily a transition team. They're not like speed it up, let's shoot. They just kind of shoot a lot of threes. And their pace is, kind of normal. Let's take a look at the maybe we should do synergy first. Good God almighty. Oh, hold on. My bad. I got to get back into the right year here. All right, Miami's had a real bumpy road here lately. They have lost They have won 4 of their last 7. It's been bumpy. They've lost to Virginia, Virginia Tech, and Duke in the second round of the ACC tournament. All those games are pretty close, actually. The first time they played Virginia, at Virginia, they got crushed. They lost at home to Notre Dame. Lost at home to Florida State. Again, a very close game, 1-point game. Lost at Florida State. Wow, they had to play them back-to-back. And lost by 1. They lost by 1 at Florida State and lost by 1 at home against Florida State. Yay. You look at their wins. They were able to win at Wake Forest. I'm talking about the Miami Hurricanes right now. I might as well pull this shit up. I don't know why I'm sitting here talking, and I could give you guys a graphical look at it. I'm sorry. I'm out of my zone, you guys. Jeez. All right, here we go. Taking a look at the Miami Hurricanes now. Now, we have no reason necessarily to believe that Auburn's going to play them, but they are in the other they're on the other side of that particular pod that Auburn is in. So if Auburn is able to get past Jacksonville State, they're going to play either Miami or USC. So we're going to take a look here. We're looking at the Miami Hurricanes right now, a team that's had some trouble in the ACC. I'm just looking at it here. I don't follow them at all. Winning away at Wake Forest is a very good win. That's a tough place to play. Former Bruce Pearl assistant Steve Forbes is the coach at Wake Forest, and they're good. They're a good basketball team. Look at them. They're getting some away wins, though. At Wake Forest, at Louisville's terrible. At Pitt's terrible. At Boston College, which was terrible in the regular season, they actually were pretty good in the tournament. They actually got a big win. And then away at Syracuse, and Syracuse is not very good this year either. And they beat Boston College in overtime in that second round game, and then they lost to Duke. Again, a very close game. So they're a competitive ball club. I mean, they compete. When they get beat, they don't usually just get run. So that's a good thing from their perspective. Let me take a look at their... Ooh, I see some red over here, guys, as you would expect from a 10 seed. Taking a look again at the Miami Hurricanes, a team that Auburn could play in the second round. And this is what their essentially their Ken Palm looks like right now. Crockpoo, I appreciate you, brother. Look at that. Adjusted efficiency on offense is really good. 17th in the country. That's good. That's really good. Defensively, not so good. Got a lot of red over there on the defensive side. 3-point defense is not good. 2-point defense is really not good. That tells me they don't have much size. Non-steal turnover percentage is bad too. So, yeah, they're not creating a lot of turnovers at all, are they? When you see assists per field goal made, it means they're passing around their asses all the time. They can't see anything. They're not getting their hands on balls. They got some real problems on defense, don't they? I'm not going to be surprised at all to see that these guys are not tall. This is going to be a short team. Holy shit, yeah, they are. 5'11", 6'3", 6'5", 6'7", 6'10". That's not that short, really. But their backup guys are 6'1", 6'1", 6'3", 6'5". Yeah, they're short. They're real short. So that's their problem. Looks like they're essentially playing 3 guards most of the time. With their first guy off the bench is a guard as well, Isaiah Wong. So, yeah, you kind of know what you're getting there. Again, Auburn size is Auburn's biggest problem, so I don't think you're going to be facing that for the Miami Hurricanes. Let's take a look at the USC Trojans. They are currently ranked 42 in Ken Palm. They've had a bumpy road as well. We're talking about USC right now because they are in the other side of the bracket with Auburn. Got to change this a little bit here. If Auburn beats Jacksonville State, then they will play the winner of the USC or USC Miami game. And so we're taking a look at those other teams, Miami and USC. This is a look at what USC has been doing here lately. Let me cancel that out and put that up here. And you can see it's been a rough here. The end of the season has been really rough. And I just kind of felt like UCLA and Arizona are the power of the Pac-12, and then you're kind of fighting for that third spot, which is really between Oregon and USC, I would say. But they put together a nice little streak there, feasting on some bad teams. Actually, beating UCLA at home was pretty good, to be honest with you. But they get crushed by Arizona, which is fine. Arizona's really, really good. UCLA, they lose away, which is not necessarily a big deal. Beat Washington, which is a terrible team, in the first round of the tournament, and then they lose to UCLA. That was played in Vegas. Lose by 10 to your arch rival. Not the best. Not the best. Let's take a look at their personnel. This is USC, the Trojans, a team that I honestly don't know very much about. I haven't watched them play very much this year. I've watched Arizona play, but I haven't watched them play USC. Let me pull that over here right now. All right, so these are the USC major contributors here. The guys that are bolded, like Drew Peterson, Mobley, Ellis, Agbongpolo. Wonder where he's from. Sounds Ghanaian to me. Let's see where he's from. He is from Laguna Niguel, California. It's close. I'm talking about their personnel. Their point guard is 6'3", shooting guard is 6'5", small forward is 6'9", power forward is 6'9", center is 6'10". Got a little bit of height there. The second round group there is 6'1", 6'9". Holy shit, he plays. Well, so they have a winger, that Max guy that I was joking about earlier, who I thought might have been from Ghana. He's actually 6'9", and he plays 2 and 3. Wow, how about that? And Drew Peterson, who looks like their best player, actually plays 3 and 4, depending on the situation there. Stu Pup says, my man Stu Pup, jumping in with a super chat, says USC will pick and roll up top. USC will pick and roll up top to pull out Walker. Right. Defense. You're talking about defensively, yeah. I thought Isaiah Mobley was the big player here, but looks like Drew Peterson has had himself a hell of a year. 41% three-point shooter. Mobley's 35%. Ellis 38%. Yikes. And that 6'9", 2'3" guy, he's not much of a three-point shooter, but he's a bitch on defense. He just kind of smothers you. 58% or 59% two-point shooting for that guy. Jeez. Yeah, they're pretty good. All right, so that's the situation there. Let's see. Lee Irby says Jacksonville State, Miami, Wisconsin, and Kansas are the number 1 seeds, right? Lee Irby asks, is Auburn a 2 seed? Auburn is indeed a 2 seed. They are in the Midwest region playing out of Greenville, South Carolina, against Jacksonville State the first game. And then after that, it's USC and Miami. That's a 7-10 game. It's right above Auburn in the bracket. And if they were to win both of those games, they would be facing LSU, Iowa State, Wisconsin, or Colgate is the situation. Let's see. MWD versus Final Four in the championship are on TBS instead of CBS. How about that? I did not know that. Let's see. Spicy Pieces Ellis, I was talking about him on the USC thing here, is a Duke transfer. How about that? I did not know that. He plays point for them. And again, this is the USC Trojans. You don't see any identification on these stats, but I'm telling you that's USC. Blake D says, thanks for the tourney breakdown, JG, of course. Let's, I tell you what, so those of you who are stat hounds like me, who love the stats, let's go ahead and jump into the synergy stats. This is the really, really specific breakdowns of these teams, not just from their statistical profiles, but from actually breaking them down on tape and kind of looking at how they do things, the kinds of plays that they use, the way that they score. And we're going to look at the Jacksonville State Gamecocks through that lens and see what they do. Ooh, I see a lot of good numbers here. Let's go ahead and try to get this over to you as quickly as I can. Give you the numbers that you want to see. I know Crocky Poo knows exactly what he's looking for on this team, and I see some good numbers here. Now, remember, they're playing in the OVC, so the numbers, the rating, you can see in that far right column there, rating is what you're kind of looking at. It gives you a real overview of what they're doing. Very good in transition, 98th percentile in transition. Wow, so good. So good. That's like Auburn in 2019. Overall half-court 78, very good, not bad. And then we look at play types down here at the bottom. Spot-up shooting is excellent, 95 percentile. Wow, they definitely have some shooters, as we mentioned before. Pick-and-roll ball handler, very good. In the 79th percentile. This is a team that can definitely do some damage shooting the basketball, but you see the one that kind of jumps out to me there is post-up is 30% below average. That's because they just don't have a ton of size, and they don't have a ton of usable size. Let's see. Mr. Matzer says, JG, what's your take on Mike White leaving UF to go to Georgia? Well, fuck, I mean, for him, that's a great move. Obviously, the Florida thing wasn't going well. I don't want to say this. I don't want to be disrespectful, but I didn't think that he was up to the job at Florida. I think the numbers prove that out. And I think at Georgia, it's a different situation. And I think you're stepping down a notch. And I think that he can be good at that level, if that makes sense. So, like, it reminds me personally of Tubby Smith, who was at Kentucky. I know he won a national title there in 98. It was his first year at Kentucky. He had a lot of players that he hadn't recruited. I think over time he kind of showed that he wasn't quite what they wanted at Kentucky. He ends up going to Minneapolis with Minnesota, and he's really good there. He's good at Minneapolis. And to me, it's like you just got to take a half a step back. Maybe, I don't know if you may look at Georgia as a full step back from Florida on the basketball court, I should say. But it's a similar situation. I think it's probably a better fit for Mike White. Now, obviously, he played at Ole Miss, so Ole Miss is probably the best fit for him, honestly, because it makes sense. It's a place he played at. It's a place that I think fits him as a coach, but it's not open, and they still got Kermit. So I think he'll be better than Tom Crean. But if you're asking me, the real question from an Auburn perspective is he going to be the guy to kind of cut into that Atlanta thing? Because Auburn gets a lot of talent out of Atlanta, which is a great place to get talent out of. It's absolutely teething with people. I don't think so. He's not somebody that would really scare me from that perspective. Again, the stats you're seeing here on the screen are from the Jacksonville State Gamecocks. What's up, Corey Dub? How you doing, brother? Offensively, they look real good. Now, again, understand, they're playing in the OVC or whatever league they're in. Am I screwing that up? I don't even know what league they're in. But I want to take a look at their defensive numbers, and they're still pretty good. But again, they're in a league that's not quite the SEC. I think it's fair to say. We'll take a look at their play types only on defense. I don't want to confuse everybody. Again, this is the way they score right here, so you can see what they're doing. They're shooters. This is a shooting team. That's the way they score. This is their defensive footprint. Again, this is the way they defend. And so these are what teams are doing against them. And spot-up shooting that's just what college basketball is right now. So defensively, they're very good. It says their rating is very good. 67 percentile to me is not very good. It's just solid, but whatever. Transition defense is good. Pick and roll ball handler is average. I keep thinking Auburn's going to be a good team at pick and roll ball handler, but they're not, statistically speaking. I wonder if they're going to continue to be able to attack that. If they can roll off those screens like they used to do, those kind of side screens, and pull into the middle, Auburn's going to crush this team. They'll win by 30. It's just can Jacksonville State ice those screens or otherwise just kind of foul up those screens and create disjointedness? I don't think they can, but we're going to find out, I guess, here in a few days. I mean, their defense is solid. This is why they are the regular season champions of their league. I mean, they're just good. They're good on offense. They're good on defense. Not a ton of size, but they can shoot the basketball. Let's see. Lee Irby says Auburn matches up well with most of these teams except for Kansas. Oh, I guess he's kind of going full scale here. Kansas, UConn, Duke, North Carolina, and watch out, everyone, for Virginia Tech. Did they get in? Just kidding. Shit, I don't think Auburn matches up bad with all those teams. Auburn matches up worst with Arizona. I think Arizona's a real problem. And UConn is kind of a weird deal. I've watched them a couple times since the Auburn game, and they're not bad. They're a good team, but that power forward that caused so much trouble for Auburn, he's kind of on and off. And their three-point shooting, there was a dude named Pauly that just absolutely tore Auburn's ass up. And in other games, he's been kind of mortal. So I don't know. If Auburn had to play UConn again, and I don't have the bracket in front of me, you guys would know better than me, I wouldn't be scared of them. Kansas is good. But I'm not terrified of them myself. Duke, they're on the other side of the bracket. North Carolina, I'm not worried about them at all. And Virginia Tech's a team I don't want to mess with. But shit, I don't want to mess with Vermont. There's teams like that, like Davidson. I don't want to mess with them at all. You don't want to mess with Murray State. By the way, what did Murray State get? What was their seeding? Let me see what Murray State got here. Murray State got a 7. To me, that's underseeded, but whatever. That's a team that I would be terrified to play. I don't know who they're facing, but they're going to be a problem for somebody. And Tevin Brown, their outstanding guard / wing, he is from Fairhope. So that'll be good. All right, now I've got a bracket in front of me. Thank God. Or do I? Yes, I do. I thank God I have a bracket in front of me. All right, so we've talked already about Auburn's pod, right? You got LSU, Iowa State up at the top, Wisconsin, Colgate, USC, Miami, and then Auburn, Jacksonville State. Above that, this is the group that's going to be playing somewhere else, not anywhere near Greenville. Kansas is playing Texas Southern / Texas, the Corpus Christi team, right? That I bet you Corpus Christi wins that game. They're a pretty hyped up team. San Diego State Aztecs against Creighton Blue Jays. Iowa against Richmond. Golly, why couldn't that have been Purdue, man? Iowa against the resurgent Richmond Spiders. And the Providence Friars, who have been really struggling of late, against South Dakota State. So if you're asking JG for his picks here, for the regionals, if Auburn were to advance to Chicago to play in the Midwest regionals, regional semis or regional finals, Kansas, San Diego State, Iowa, Providence, and then Kansas, Iowa, Wisconsin, Auburn would be what I would think is going to happen in Chicago. Wisconsin, I don't know much about them, honestly. I've watched them play a little bit, particularly in that Michigan game a couple weeks ago when homie got in trouble. We were streaming it in the car. I don't even remember where the hell we were. Must have been coming back from Mobile. Spicy P says Kentucky has Murray State second round. Oh.
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
Sorry. I'll tell you what, man. Corey Dubb says go Murray State. He is fired up because Auburn fans should be definitely cheering for Murray State in that one, yo. Hell yes. Rob, thanks for jumping in on that one too, bro, for letting me know that that Murray State and UK are going to tangle in the second round, assuming everybody can get there. Sam H. jumped in with a super chat as well. I know I missed one earlier. Stu Pup, I actually didn't post this. I talked about it earlier. Why do I not have something up there? This is outrageous. JG, what are you doing, bro? Again, this is the USC Trojans. This is their statistical profile right there. Stu Pup says USC will pick and roll up top to pull out Walker. From a defensive standpoint, that's kind of everybody's goal, right? Walker Kessler leads the country in block shots. I think he's going to end up being the defensive player of the year for the whole country. The wise thing would be to get him out of the post. Obviously, his left shoulder is something of an issue. He has been playing his usual minutes, but you could argue that he maybe hasn't been quite as good defensively. But he's still been very good. I don't know. The problems that Auburn had in the SEC tournament had nothing to do with Walker Kessler. And any problems I think that Auburn has in general doesn't have to do with Walker Kessler. It has to do with guards, and you guys know the story. You've been watching this team. The three-point shooting is not good, and I think the guard play is weird sometimes. It's like they don't control the game the way that they should from the point guard position is kind of the way I look at it. And also, we could argue that Auburn's not getting enough out of the three spot, out of the wing spot where Al Flanagan is playing, obviously, and Chris Moore and Dev Cambridge as well. I'm going to go ahead and fire up the Skype. If you guys want to call in, I don't know why. I've just been babbling so much and so long, just kind of getting you guys set up and straightened out for this NCAA tournament run that Auburn's about to go on here. Again, they're going to be in Greenville, South Carolina in the first and second round, I should say, and then they progress. If they were to win those two games, they progress to Chicago, Illinois, to play, I presume, in the United Center. I don't know that for sure. They don't even put it on the bracket, do they? It just says Midwest. You're just supposed to figure that out on your own. Let me see. NCAA tournament sites 2022. Let's see. Midwest Regional United Center, Chicago, Illinois. I will let you guys know. I learned this the hard way. United Center in Chicago, and I'm not trying to be presumptuous here. Auburn's got to win the games to get there, but if you go to Chicago, United Center is not in a normal area of the town, in my opinion. It's not like close to where you would want to hang out in Chicago because you probably want to go downtown for Chicago. United Center is like kind of out. It's probably 10 miles. It could be further. I don't know. 5 to 10 miles west of downtown. You ain't gonna walk there. So there you go. Also, Crocky Poo had alerted us earlier that if he sees you at Bon Secours Wellness Arena in Greenville, South Carolina, he's gonna give you a hug. Be ready for it. I'm just saying, be ready for it. I will be ready for it myself. Of course, you guys know me because of my hair. You're gonna say you're the only 49-year-old straight male that I know wears his hair like that, and I'm gonna say, cool. I'm glad to know it. I'm glad to know you. Let's see. Spicy Pieces, we go into NOLA, baby. Wow, we got as good a draw as you could draw up. Right. So on the top of that bracket, again, you got Kansas as a potential bugaboo there. Where did my bracket go, yo? Oh, here we go. Again, top of that bracket, you got Kansas, San Diego State, Creighton, Iowa, Providence. I mean, some teams there you're not necessarily worried about. Iowa has a really good power forward who's like first-team All-American type dude. Keegan is his name. I think him against, number 10, Jabari Smith would be a tremendous matchup. Truly the two best power forwards in the country, in my opinion. Yeah, so Kansas, that's a team you got to worry about there. And I think they're clearly the best team on in that pod. And then down here, I think it's going to be contested between Auburn and Wisconsin. Although a team like USC, I don't know, man. They have kind of an odd look about them. They may be the kind of team that's going to give Auburn some trouble. I don't think Miami is, but I do think USC is. So we got to see what happens in that first game and kind of try to figure that out. If you guys see a time for the Auburn game, and you guys may be able to get that before I do, because I'm kind of here live and you guys might see it on TV, let me know. I'd be curious to know what's going on there. Mr. Matzer says, what Jay is saying, if you go to United Center, you might need a vest. Look, man, I don't worry about that kind of stuff. I'm not worried about wearing a vest or whatever. I'm just saying it's not somewhere you'd want to walk. You can't walk there from downtown. I mean, I guess you could. I don't know how many miles I could walk if I just had to walk, but it's not you wouldn't want to make that walk. You're going to be riding the L, and so you can just probably stay downtown, but it ain't downtown. Spicy P says, can we take a look at Wisconsin? Fuck yes, we can. Of course we can, Spicy P. I'm here for you. That's what we're going to do right now. Let's take a look. First, we'll start out with the Ken Palm on that one. Wisconsin is ranked in the Ken Palm rankings 34. I'll tell you what, let's take a look at their schedule here to start with. Well, I'll just do the bottom half of it. We don't really give a shit about the early stuff, do we? All right, so here are the Wisconsin Badgers, and I bring them up because they're going to be in the other pod. So if Auburn advances to the Sweet 16, they have a chance to face off against the Wisconsin Badgers, and this is what they look like. Again, what did I say, 30 something in the 31 in the in the KenPom rankings. A team that's they got a lot of away wins at Nebraska, at Michigan State, at Indiana, which at that time Indiana was kind of playing like shit. They got a lot better here at the end. At Minnesota, who's terrible. At Rutgers, who's losing the first round of Michigan State of the tournament. And they lost at home to Nebraska, which we were talking about in the bunker. That was a stinker, man. Yeah. Not great there. Okay, let's take a look at some of their other statistical markers. Jay, can you just move some of that, please? Yeah, I can. Thanks. Thanks for asking. Let's take a look at their style components, the things that KenPom feels like are the most important parts of any team. I'm not sure I agree with all of these, but we can debate that. It's not a big deal. Again, for those of you who just jumped in, we're looking at the Wisconsin Badgers right now, a team that Auburn would play, or could play, I should say, in the Sweet 16. If they make it to Chicago, they'd have to beat, first of all, they have to win their first round game against Jacksonville State, and then a second round game against, Miami or USC. And if they get through that, then they might be facing this team, Wisconsin Badgers. I'm just kind of looking at them off the hoof. I've never looked at their statistical profile before this. Their best numbers are turnover percentage being very low on offense, so they don't turn the ball over. But they don't create a lot of turnovers either. Offensive rebounding is shitty. 3-point shooting is quite shitty. 2-point shooting is pretty shitty. I mean, there's about 360 teams in Division I, so if you're ranked 210, you're down there, man. Defensively, solid. I'm really surprised their adjusted efficiency is 49th with such terrible 3- and 2-point percentage. Weird. They must get a whole lot of steals. No, they don't. How about that? J.O. says we drilled Nebraska. Damn right they did. I remember. I was watching. You guys were too? In Atlanta. Let's go ahead and take a look at, I will give you a rundown quickly of their lineup here for the Wisconsin Badgers. Their usual lineup is 6'2", 6'4", 6'5", 6'9", 7 foot. So that's kind of average-ish, right? Their backups are 6'5", 6'4", 6'4", 6'9", 7 foot. So that's too bad. Let's see. My main man D in Atlanta, whose opinion I trust without even asking, says the United Center is 2 miles due west of the Loop on Madison. I don't know what that means, D, but I'll take it to heart, bro. I know that it's not real close to an L stop. I know that. Because when we went there in 98, I went there in early 98, right as it opened, because they changed from the Chicago, I don't remember what the arena was, but it was fairly new at the time. Kentucky played, Kansas maybe? In one of those like early season shindigs or whatever. They had just opened the United Center, and I went up there, and it was a long walk. And it was nighttime. It was not the most pleasant experience I've ever had in my life. Just having to lug all that stuff. Yeah, so Wisconsin Badgers. The bad 3-point shooting team. Okay-ish 2-point shooting team. Good free throw shooting team. And it looks like they make their bank really, I don't know how they do it. I mean, they just kind of grind. They got some size. They don't look that. They just don't look super good to me. Look okay. AU Taxman says you can't walk it. Yeah, I don't think you would. You could probably walk it from the L, but it would be a long walk. I mean, it'd be like 15 minutes. You wouldn't walk it. You wouldn't walk it from your hotel in downtown. There's no way. Let's see what Crockett Poo's saying here. It's because I don't understand what Crockett Poo's saying. It's because they don't turn it over and they get doubled a ton. That's not good for us. See, Spicy Pieces, god dang, we came out clean. Wisconsin stinks. That is really kind of the bottom line here, right? Is that Auburn, really, this is a good bracket for Auburn. I'm not saying that Auburn's going to win. I'm not trying to get anybody going, it's how JG said, blah, 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 But I'm just saying from a bracket perspective, like this could have been a whole lot worse. Let me go ahead and put the bracket up here just so we can talk, we're all friends here. Let me go ahead and cancel out. I already did Wisconsin. So there's the bracket right here. This is the Midwest bracket. So these teams in the bottom half are going to be in Greenville. The teams in the top half, I should know where they're going to be. Is it Buffalo? I'm not sure. Arizona. Where would they be? I don't remember. Dadgummit. Oh, they're going to be in Milwaukee. Okay. So LSU, Iowa State, Wisconsin, Colgate, those guys are going to be in Milwaukee. And then Auburn's going to be down here with USC, Miami, Auburn, Jack State. They're going to be down here in Greenville. And I know the other Greenville pod is the Duke pod. So to listen to Coach K. Well, we've had a really good run here for fucking 30 years, and we've been okay. No, I remember when you had a shitty season, your back hurt, and you dropped all those losses on your assistant. Pete Gaudet. I haven't forgotten, bro. Sorry if I sound bitter, guys. I was actually a Louisville fan when I was younger, and Louisville beat Auburn. I'm sorry, Louisville beat Duke for the '86 national title. So, I mean, it started right there, Mr. Matzer says Auburn should make it to the Elite Eight based on bracket, but it's March. You're absolutely right. Forrest D says, who will be the other four teams in Greenville with Auburn? That's a good question. It was that Duke pod. Let me take a look and see where Duke is in this situation. Okay, here's the other teams. It's going to be, I'm not going to post it. I'll just tell you who it is. It's going to be Duke, Cal State Fullerton, Davidson, and Michigan State are going to be the other teams there. So you're looking at potentially a Duke-Michigan State game, which is good, Krzyzewski against Izzo. But Duke, everybody was crying. Well, I should say, and not everybody, but the Duke people were crying to put Coach K in Chicago because he's from Chicago. But he ain't. He's in the West region, so he's going to be playing somewhere else if they're able to get out of Greenville. So that's the situation right there. Spicy P says, Jay Bilas says Auburn has a tough path. What are we missing? Yeah, I don't know. I think it's because, and I'm just speaking for myself because I can't speak for you guys, but like Auburn Auburn's had some problems lately. It's fair to say that. I mean, we're in the trust tree here. Everything's fine. Auburn's had some trouble here. I think people like Jay Bilas look at this team and they say, shit, man. I don't know, man. They've had a lot of tough losses. They haven't looked very good. They completely stopped. I shouldn't say that. In the Texas A&M game in Tampa, I thought the first half was dog shit, and I thought the first half of the second half was dog shit as too. It was 30 minutes of just not good basketball. Thought Auburn played great in the final 10 minutes. It wasn't enough to overcome a 20-point deficit. Auburn should have never let A&M get that far ahead, and they did, and that's the bottom line. I mean, that's one game, right? If you're Jay Bilas, if you're other national analysts, you don't watch Auburn all the time. You see them play that game, a lot of pressure on them. You win that game, you probably secure a number 1 seed. Don't get it done. What happened? Well, they looked listless. They didn't play their best game. So I think you look at Auburn and you say that's a flailing team. It's the same way I look at Providence right now. Providence is a team that to me was really good early in the season, and as things got really tight in March, they started falling apart. I think some people look at Auburn that way. I don't myself, but some folks do, and I respect that opinion. Jay Bilas certainly knows a lot about basketball. Actually, I'll tell you a funny story. So I was covering. I told you earlier. When I was in the newspaper business, we had to cover like when Auburn wasn't playing or whatever. I would go cover Bam Bams because I had to. I mean, it's like if Auburn's not playing, might as well go cover Alabama. So I went out to San Diego. Oh, I don't have it here. I thought I had my pass from San Diego here, but I don't see it right now. Anyway, I went out to San Diego to cover the Bam Bams, and there was they evacuated the arena at one point because there was an unknown package in a hot dog vendor push cart. Like it was a box that he didn't know what it was. The hot dog vendor. So he said, "Oh shit, he's got a box in there. We don't know what it is. Let's evacuate the arena before the game started." This is like 2 hours before the game started. So I actually hunkered down with Jay Bilas there at the San Diego State Arena in San Diego, and spent about 10 minutes just kind of me and him and like 2 other people talking. He was really cool. And I told him, I was like, "Dude, I'm a UK graduate. I always thought you were a dick, but you're actually pretty cool." He was like, "Appreciate you saying that, man." Yeah, he was really nice. First of all, I don't like Duke people. Second of all, he seems like kind of a dick on TV, but he's cool. I like him. I'm just talking. Cleveland Brown says Dick Vitale has spoken. I happen to be a big Dick Vitale fan. Texas A&M, SMU, and Xavier were the biggest snubs. Is that true? The fact that A&M didn't get in really surprises me. That really, really surprises me. SMU, I don't know enough about them. And Xavier had some tough losses. I know we have a real good friend whose son goes there, and so we were kind of paying attention to them, and I was like, eh. It's a great school, though. It's a really nice part of Cincinnati. It would be a great school to hang out at. Believe me, I'd be a fan of going to Xavier, but I don't know. I love Dickie V, by the way. He's just good people, man. I was fired up, man. In about 2001, I met Dickie V when he was at one of the Auburn games. And, I mean, I grew up, just like you guys did. Well, you guys are probably younger than me, most of y'all, but Dick Vitale was college basketball in the 80s and 90s. Meeting him, I was like, oh, my God, Dick Vitale. He's really great. He's really, really nice. It was a pleasure. Truly a pleasure. All right, going back to the way other people see Auburn. AU Taxman says, everyone sees Auburn's guards and questions their ability to keep winning. Has nothing to do with matchups. Yeah. Well said. I spent 5 minutes discussing what you put in one sentence there. You're absolutely right, or 2 sentences. I just think that everybody's got questions about Auburn's guards, and honestly, we probably do too a little bit, right? I mean, when KD goes out there in the Texas A&M game and goes 0 for 14, like, fucking what? Like, I know that he's not a sharpshooter. You guys probably see him that way too, but like 0 for 14, like just find a way to get the ball in the bucket, right? 0 points, 0 for 14. Let's see. Corey wants to know what I'm drinking. I'm still drinking this Blue Note. This is the Juke joint. But it's a barrel pick from a Frisky Whiskey over there in LaGrange, Georgia. Great place to go if you guys are going between Montgomery or Auburn and Atlanta. Great place to stop and take a look. They've always got some good stuff there. And if this barrel pick is any indication, they know what they're doing. It's a good barrel pick. I also was drinking the Redemption earlier, the Redemption Bourbon. That's like the straight bourbon. This stuff is in the ABC store now, Corey, so if you check that out. As I recall, it's about $45, $50, 88 proof, good daily drinker. I don't really have much else to say about this. I love their weeded bourbon. It's one of my favorites. It's a great daily drinker. This one's probably not quite as good as that one for me, but it's available, whereas the weeded is not. If you guys live in Georgia or Tennessee, the weeded is available, but not here in Alabama. Let's see. John D says Miami has some good senior guards. All right, that's noted, bro. That may come in handy. That may be some really good intel. Appreciate you sharing that, yo. Again, that's a team that's very guard oriented. We talked about that earlier. So, yeah, they're a shooting team. They're shooters. There's no doubt. Cody R says this Russell's Reserve 10 year is pretty good for $35. I have told my man Corey Dubb who I text with sometimes about the bourbons. He's learning. He's making his way through the bourbon world. Russell's Reserve 10, Cody, in my opinion, is the best bourbon in that range. It is. That's my opinion. 35 is pretty low. I mean, if you can find it there consistently at $35, you should go ahead and buy that in bulk, because to me, it's probably a $50 bourbon, $45 bourbon. It is, to me, it's perfect. I get a lot of cherry in that. I get a lot of sweetness. It's a little bit sweeter than average. I don't necessarily know that everybody. Oh my God, Spicy Pieces, Tom Brady unretired. I just saw a report the other day that maybe he was going to play for the 49ers this year. I was like, what? He's retired. And now he's unretired. Spicy P, my man, I thought he would do this. He's too good. He's too good. You know, it's like Barry Sanders, he retired at the top of his game. He was a tremendous tailback at the moment that he retired. Same thing with Megatron. And Tom Brady is doing that too, but like he's such a, I don't know. Megatron was like 33, right? Barry Sanders, maybe younger than that, 32. Tom Brady is showing that like you can make it at like 45. Spicy Piece is not confirmed. Sorry, hold tight. No problem, bro. We're just speculating here. This is not a Tom Brady stream. This is Auburn basketball stream. John D says Adam Schefter has Brady back. Adam Schefter. His opinion matters to me. Uncle says, is there a good bourbon for scotch drinkers? God dang it. You know what? In our bourbon on Reddit, there was a thread about that. Like, what's a good bourbon for scotch drinkers? And since I'm not a scotch drinker myself, I wasn't paying as close attention as I should have. I don't know the answer to that. That means you need something kind of smoky, right? Because the couple scotches that I drank, to me, seem smoky. So to me, if you're trying to have a smoky bourbon, to me, that's probably like a Willet Rye, like the green top Willet that my man Easterwood had earlier today. He sent me a picture. He was able to get himself a little bit of that at MSRP, by the way. I don't know. I hate to say that. I don't know, because I'm not a big scotch drinker. Blake D says, I totally agree. This is a favorable bracket for the Auburn Tigers, no lie. I'm telling you, like, you look at the bracket right here. It's not terrible. Now, Auburn's got to play. If Auburn plays the way that we know Auburn can play, the way Auburn was playing a month ago, the way Auburn was playing 3 weeks ago, they're going to get to the Final Four. I mean, it's going to come down to a big game against Kansas, and that's what it's going to come down to. And, I mean, at that point, you kind of have to just see what happens. But if you get there, that's all you ask for. I mean, honestly, seriously, every sumbitch in here, if Auburn makes it to the regional final game, is that a dub? And the answer is yes. Because it's Auburn. Auburn's still kind of moving up, right? And if you get to a regional final in the NCAA tournament, you've gone to where you want to be. You've got winner goes to the Final Four against Kansas. That's where you want to be. That's where you want to be. Now, do I think Auburn can beat Kansas? I don't know. Kansas pretty good. Stoop Up says Kansas has been known to shit the bed a bunch in March. Wait, don't do that. Don't make that sound.
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
You're absolutely right about that. Kansas has absolutely shit the bed a bunch in March. We have known that. We have seen that. And let's don't just assume that this bracket's going to unfold the way we think it will. There's going to be weird stuff happen. There's always weird stuff happening. We do have a confirmation now in the chat that Tom Brady is going to come back. How about that? How about that? I don't have a real strong opinion on Tom Brady. He's a terrific quarterback. I don't hate him or love him. But if he's at the 49ers, I'd be fine with that because I don't have to worry about that as a Raider fan. Brian L says, "What up, Jay? Had to break out the owl for the selection show and the brain drain." You talking about the confiscated, bro? My opinion, Auburn has an easier draw than Kentucky. We got to get our mojo back like we had back in December. Whoa, buddy, we don't need to go back to December. We don't have to go that far. First of all, that confiscated, man, that's pretty good, bro. That's good. Now I'm gonna tell you guys full disclosure. So I bought this Master's Keep. This is a Wild Turkey Master's Keep. This shit is expensive, and it's good. I've not had it, but I've been told it's good. Well, hold on. Mr. Matzer says Brady says he's coming back to the Bucks. What? I thought he was gonna be a free agent. Anyway, I bought this for the NCAA tournament. That's why I bought it. And I mean, since we're going to Greenville. I could take this with me. Chicago's going to be a tougher order. I have to put that in my checked baggage. So, what should we do with this? Should we break this out? Or should I wait until we go to Bon Secours? By the way, we need to hang out in Bon Secours. Crocker Style, if you're watching, I want to hang out with you, bro. I want to meet you. All y'all other fuckers, I want to hang out with y'all too. Corey Depp says it looks good in the box. There it is, buddy. I pulled it twice and it wouldn't come to me. Oh. There it is. Master's Keep. Uncle says I'd say wait. Of course, Corey right above him says we should drink it. I don't know much about this except that it's really good. Of course, obviously made by Wild Turkey in Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. Not too far outside of Lexington. Let's see. It looks like it's 101 proof, which is right down my right in my alley. That's right there. I'm kind of debating on that one. That's pretty good bourbon right there. I like that one. Let's see. Lee says no Gonzaga. Oh, Gonzaga is going to beat Woo Pig in the Sweet 16. I'd say most people probably figure that's going to happen. Stephen L. says if Auburn doesn't do it, I got to pull from my hometown Chattanooga Mocs. Chattanooga's a great town to live in, bro. You're doing well. Good for you. I like Chattanooga myself. Looks good in the box. My man. All right. Let's see. Mr. Matzer says bourbon is meant to be drank with friends, not kept on a shelf to look at. Now, I agree with that sentiment. I'm not scared to open it. I'm really not. AU Texans is at the 17 year. I can't believe that it is. I don't know. I don't see an age statement on this. I don't see an age statement on this, bro. I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that old, though. Let's see. All right, here's what it says on the box. Taxman. To reflect his father's tastes, Eddie hand-selected barrels aged between 9 and 10 years old. Then selecting his own small batch of carefully aged 14-year-old whiskey, Eddie crafted these profiles into one. The magic is in the second maturation, using new oak barrels specially toasted and charred, resting in one of his favorite timber rickhouses, Tyrone G, a first for Master's Keep. So this starts out with as between a 9 and 10, and then he puts it in he blends it with a 14, and then he sits it again. So I don't know how old this is. It's at least 9. Well, it's at least 10. I don't know. We'll figure that out. I probably should drink that sober, right? See, Stu Pup says Chattanooga is the real deal. Attaboy, that's what I'm talking about. Cleveland Browns says, if not Auburn, who do you see winning at all? Great question. To me, Arizona's playing the best basketball in the country right now. I don't care what the numbers say. They're the team that would concern me the most of all of the teams in the country. They're really, really good. They're really, really big. They're really, really good. I don't know. I mean, they're just a pain in the ass. I'll tell you, a team that I just would not want to mess with right now is Murray State and Vermont. I don't want any of them. And they're nowhere near Auburn, so that's good. I'm curious to see what Vermont looks like. Ken Palm has them as 59. They have won like fucking probably 30 of their last 31 games. I don't have any idea. Nah, it's probably like 24 of their last 25. They lost one game at Hartford in overtime. And besides that, they haven't lost since December 7th, which was at Providence. And they only lost by 10. There it is. I just got an alert. CBS Sports reporting that Tom Brady's returning to Bucks. How about that, huh? I'm not surprised he's coming back. I'm a little surprised he's with the Bucks, but somebody said in the chat that Bruce Arians said they wouldn't trade him or anything. I mean, I don't know why you'd trade him because he's whatever. I wouldn't want to mess with Vermont, dude. That's just a team that I would have a problem. I would not want to mess with. But what an odd statistical profile, though. Their offensive rebounding is terrible, but their defensive rebounding is like number 1 in the country. Like, what is that all about? Their lineup is 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", 6'6", and 6'8". Oh, that's why. Okay. They got bouncy dudes that just kind of bounce over the guys that they play in the America East Conference. And the number 2 seed in that conference was UMBC, who they just crushed the other day. Yeah, it's a bunch of teams they're not worried about. I mean, the other teams in that league are New Hampshire, Stony Brook, Hartford, Albany, Binghamton, UMass Lowell, NJIT, and Maine. Yeah. I mean, I'm still worried about them, but I'm not, like, terrified. Spicy B wants to know, how far can Tennessee go, their path? Let me see if I've got their path here. Tennessee is in the South region. They're playing Longwood in the first game, which you reckon they're going to beat them. Colorado State / Michigan in the second round. You think they'd beat them. So, for me, they're going to probably end up facing Villanova in the region, in the South region semifinals, which I don't know, man. Villanova's a weird team. They lose a lot of games, but they're fucking good. Like, I don't know what to tell you about Villanova. It's kind of like your mileage may vary. And then they would be facing almost certainly Arizona in the South Regional Final. So they're not going to beat Arizona, I don't think. So it'd be down to Villanova in the Elite Eight. I don't know, man. Sheesh. I mean, I like Tennessee, and I think they've been playing good basketball. No hating at all, but do we have a date on the Auburn game? I think it's Friday, right? Is that a Friday game? You guys might know more about it than I would. Looky here, Ryan Lemon. He used to be a TV guy that I knew when I was back in Lexington many, many years ago. He used to work for WS. I can't remember the name now. WLKY? He now says he's a Kentucky sports radio dude. Everybody is. Anyway, he says that Auburn better be aware of Jacksonville State. Ray Harper is the Jacksonville State head coach, and when he was at Kentucky, let me see what this is. Kentucky Wesleyan. And Bruce Pearl was at Southern Indiana. Harper owned him with a 13-4 record. Wow, I had no idea. That's really cool shit right there. I did not know that. That goes way back, though. I mean, BP, when he was at Southern Indiana in Evansville, man, that's a long time ago, bro. What's that, like 97? I can still remember I went to a fraternity. I was a president of my fraternity in 93, I think it was. I want to make sure these numbers are right because I don't want to tell some lies here. I was the Auburn fraternity. I was the president at Transylvania University, I should say, from 93, 94. Yes. Bruce Pearl was the head coach at Southern Indiana, and I hung out with the president from Southern Indiana, and he was like, we got this basketball coach. He's fucking unbelievable. I was like, who gives a shit? I was like, he's really good. I'm like, yeah, well, he ain't fucking Rick Pitino or whatever. And that was when they were the Division II runner-up. His second year at Southern Indiana, they were Division II runner-up. So I can understand. And I actually went and bought a car in Indianapolis a couple years ago. I've told you guys a story. And the people there still fucking remembered him. They were like, dude, I'm from Evansville, and I love BP, man. When he was at USI, they were so good. I was like, oh, my God. All right, Blake D is going to bounce. He says, love you, JG and Auburn family. Got to head out, but see y'all next time, War Damn Eagle. Blake, we love you, bro. I will next see you probably in Greenville. I'm looking forward to it, brother. Let's see. Lee says, I wonder who's in the NIT tournament, the tourney that teams who did not make the NCAA tournament, people keep forgetting about that tournament. No, we don't really forget about it. It's just kind of like second rate, you know. Blake, appreciate you, bro. Love you, man. Mr. Matzer says, Friday with no time yet. All right, so me and B. Matt will probably head up there on Wednesday. We'll do the rundown on Tuesday. We'll head up there Wednesday and do what we do. Let's see how far this place is, man. We're already set up for Greenville. My wifey and I got the room set up a long time ago. long time ago. Okay. That ain't too far. That's about 80 miles, maybe, from Atlanta. Something like that. I'm just estimating here. That ain't too bad. We can stay. Oh, my God. Look who we've got now. We got D. Lucky on the horn. What's up, D. Lucky?
What's good, JG?
I'll tell you what's good is this fucking bracket, bro.
You're right about that, baby. Couldn't have asked for a better setup, it appears to me.
I mean, I know the team's not playing their best right now, but I mean, it's from a bracket perspective. It looks pretty good, man.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of teams that we don't match up well with, that we avoided. I like the possibility of the Wisconsin-Kansas setup. Even the geographical, kind of best case. I mean, yeah, Wisconsin will be closer to Chicago, and but Kansas will travel well, but still, it's not some of our worst case scenarios of Philly and Villanova and stuff like that. So that's kind of the best case scenario for us, I think.
Oh, so you're on the Villanova bandwagon with me?
Yeah, I don't like Villanova in the tournament. Not playing against them. I think Jay Wright's a hell of a coach, and
yeah,
their style doesn't serve us well. So to avoid them is it's pretty good in my opinion.
Yeah, I know you also are with me on the Arizona thing too, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The further away we have to go before we have to play those guys, the better.
Yeah, I don't want any of Arizona, bro. None.
No. If somebody would be kind enough to go ahead and dismiss them before we have to see them, that would be fine.
That'd be great. If you could just go ahead and do that, that'd be great. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we'd appreciate that. Just come in on Saturday and take care of that.
All right, so Auburn has to play Jack State, a team that just basically bombs away from 3-point range. What are your thoughts on that game, D. Lucky?
I mean, we got to play defense. I think that's the biggest thing there. I'm not the offense. I'm less concerned on that one, and I think this is more just a mental check for us. Should be, it doesn't happen very often for a 15-2. Just the athleticism should be enough to get past them. I just think mentally we just need to have a decent shooting game in that game. That's it. Doesn't have to be great. Just needs to be decent. So that going into the next game, confidence is kind of built up a little bit.
Yeah, that'd be good. 15-2, man. That's a game that the twos win, 99% of the time. I remember Coppin State beat South Carolina one year. That's about it, though.
Yeah, I think Richmond beat somebody
in the 80s, right?
Years ago.
Yeah,
a long time ago. So I think we should be able to get past that one. And then, the the next turn is just how quick can we get back to what we need to do. I think we do have the luxury of hopefully having a deeper bench than whoever we play, and that hopefully that pays off for us. So maybe the quick turn is a benefit to us.
Do you look? I got the stats up here. 15 seeds are 9 and 135 against twos.
Yeah, I like our chances.
It's happened 9 times. Last year it happened. Oral Roberts beat Ohio State last year.
No, yeah.
The Golden Eagles from Oral Roberts.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I mean, it could happen. That's not impossible, but I tend to like our chances with the team that we have. And I think I'm sure Jack State will have a few folks there, but I'm thinking there'll be more home crowdish than neutral once we get there. So we'll see.
Yeah. And you like this team. Do you still like this team?
I do. I mean, we have not shot the ball well. That is not a secret. But I don't think we have to be superstars shooting the ball either. So it's not like we need some huge improvement to get where we need to go. We just need a little bit of consistency from our guards, and we'll be okay. Because that was the issue the other day. It wasn't. I mean, we literally played the worst possible shooting half of the season, and we still had a shot at the end.
Yeah, but it was A&M though. Like they should have beat A&M, right?
They should have, but again, it took literally the worst shooting half of the season to get them in a bad spot like that. And I don't know if that was a mental thing where they just didn't realize, and, got kind of in their emotions and didn't just check up a little bit and go, hey, wait a minute, we need to do a little bit different. I don't know, but I'm hopeful that the urgency will be a little bit greater in this one, and maybe they can kind of pull themselves out of those nosedives a little sooner than they did this time.
Yeah, I just need a little bit more from KD and win. They were bad in that A&M game, but
they were, and I think, like I said, the biggest thing, and even in all of that, was if we'd have just done a little bit more on the defensive end, because we didn't get near enough out of our defense to kind of sustain us until the offense caught on in the second half. Because that was the thing where we went down in at halftime. We came back out, and we didn't put the clamps down and just hold them down while the shooting came together. We kind of let them, battle us to neutral until there was 9 minutes left, and then finally we decided to play a little defense.
Yeah.
So, we can. I think we can win the game. We can win in the tournament a variety of different ways. So I think we have that ability with the makeup of the team. So if we get the shooting, we're going to be hell on wheels. But we don't have to have superb shooting in order to win. We can get wins other ways.
Well, we'll just have to see how it breaks down. I feel good about this first game, though. I think they can find a way to get around Jacksonville State. Then you're looking at USC and Miami, and got some teams there that have some good guards. You got to ball up, man.
And if we can make it to the second weekend, I just like our chances. I really like our chances if we get to the second weekend. I'm a Kansas hater, no doubt. I picked them in too many brackets, and for them to keep me right square in my nads, that this couldn't have been more of a dream scenario for us to have the possibility of playing Kansas to go to the Final Four. That's just perfect.
I don't like Kansas, to be honest with you.
Nope.
But you like the Aztecs from San Diego. You don't have a problem with San Diego State, do you?
No. Good. That's where Kawhi came from, right?
It is, indeed, and there's some hot chicks there. I know. I knew some of them.
I figured as much. So, yeah, San Diego State's good. Kawhi and Marshall Falk give you a shot with me.
That's a great point. Hey, any chance you go to Chicago, bro?
Chicago is, you know what? I won't say no. I got some work up that way, so it might work out. We'll see.
Wow.
I got some work trips that might work out.
Might work in?
We'll see.
And how about you had mentioned on the show last week, maybe Greenville on the second game? Is that possible?
That is still a possibility. Got some Little D Lucky has some basketball tournaments that I'm helping out in. So that would be the earliest we could get there. It'd be Sunday if the timing works for that tournament. So we just got to see. We haven't got a schedule for that yet. So we'll see.
All right, bro. I'd love to see you over there.
Well, if it works out, you'll be the second text that I send. Let my brother know first.
Of course, you got to know that. Yeah, we got to do that. And by the way, D. Lucky's brother is on the bunker, so it's all in the family.
Absolutely.
Yes. All right, brother. I appreciate you calling in. It's not a show without you, so we're glad to have you.
Man, I appreciate that. Y'all enjoy the day, man. It's not quite Christmas, but it'll do.
All right. See you, bro.
All right. See you, man. Peace.
There he is, our Santa Claus, D. Lucky, our main man. Sounded like he may be able to make at least one of those games in Greenville. And maybe we might be able to sneak him into Chicago as well. That'd be badass. The more of you guys meeting D. Lucky is the better. I'm just putting it that way. Leif B., who's one of our friends from RebelGrove.com, who lives in the greater Evansville/Henderson area. Actually, he lives in Owensboro, but it's in the same general area. It's like where Indiana and Kentucky connect. He grew up, or he lives, just mere blocks from where Pearl and the Jacksonville State coach have gone head-to-head when Jacksonville State, when they were playing each other years ago at different teams, different schools. And says, I'm literally sitting a block away from the basketball arena where they had some legit and bitter games. I think if you feel like this team is unmotivated and lost some focus, don't worry, Pearl will have this team ready. Because it's kind of a personal thing with him, huh? How about that? That's really badass. I always feel like the NCAA people kind of know shit like that. Like this shit happens too often. I remember a few years ago, several years ago now, Louisville played Manhattan early in the NCAA tournament. Surely it was a first-round game. And that was Louisville, Rick Pitino at the time, and then Steve Mazziello, who played for Pitino at Kentucky and who was a friend of mine, like a source of mine, when I was a student at Kentucky, who was the coach of Manhattan. And I was like, if you're going to put like two teams that don't have anything to do with each other together, it's almost like they kind of find ways to find teams that have some kind of a matchup or something. I don't know. That happens more often than you would think. I'll put it that way. AU Texans is great call, D. Lucky. We love D. Lucky. Great bunkerer, great bunk, and obviously a vital part of what we do here on the Brain Drain. Great caller, and if you guys have the opportunity to hang out with D. Lucky, as I have been fortunate enough to have him as a guest at my home here. You guys will never be disappointed. The guy's, he's what you're looking for, He's a high-quality individual. And also, I have spent multiple late nights drinking until I can't remember what I said. He likes the brown water. And so, obviously, we have a special place in our heart for guys and gals who love the brown water. Late B noting that he said Marcelo, but he meant to say Mazziello. Steve Mazziello, the coach in Manhattan, former UK player who was he was a friend of mine back in the day. You guys don't want to hear about my time at UK. I don't talk about it very much, but I did graduate from University of Kentucky in 98, and I covered them in 96, 97, 98 in basketball. They were also very good. They won the national championship in 96, lost in the national championship game in 97, and then won it again in 98. And Steve Mazziello, who's the coach at Manhattan, was a player on that team. Let's see, Saul Smith was a player on that team who's now an assistant coach at High Point, I believe. I can't remember. Gigi's now the head coach at High Point. And Scott Padgett, who was a player on that UK team, ended up being the head coach at Samford. He's not there anymore, but a lot of guys kind of came out of there. A lot of good dudes. A lot of good dudes. I know you guys don't like UK now, but I'm talking 30 years ago. It's all good. Let's see what we got. Someone who's talking about pipe layers here. Do you like it says, imagine a pipe layer, Spicy Penguin. Now put an AU visor on him. Where's the what? What?
It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
MWD, my man. What's up, bro? Now back with my proper bunkering name. My man. We love having MWD both on the bunker and on the show. Of course, he's the master of the Sin Caves many months ago, I should say. A great football caller, also a very, very good basketball caller as well. D. Lucky is the man, though, because D. Lucky can call football. He calls in on basketball. Again, if we did equestrian, he would call in on that. I'm telling you, the guy has great takes on everything that you can come across. I would never, ever push him into politics, but if I did, I bet he'd have great takes. All right, let me clean up my stuff here. Again, the Auburn Tigers are going to be a number 2 seed. In the Midwest region, they're going to play out of Greenville, South Carolina. They're matched up with some people that are playing out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. That's where LSU, Iowa State, Wisconsin, and Colgate are going to be. And if you look at the Wisconsin Badgers, we already took a statistical look at them earlier. They're kind of a weird team. They don't really have a lot of outliers statistically. But you can't argue with the facts. They're a pretty good basketball team. AU Storm 20 is on the horn again. What's up, brother?
Hey, Jay. How's it going on this Sunday?
Well, it's good. I mean, this bracket, man, it's not bad. You there, bro?
Jay, I'm on. Jay?
Yeah.
Yeah, it cut straight into you. I didn't hear the first part of what you said.
Shit, I'm sorry. Is this MWD?
Yeah.
Shit, man, I cut off AU Storm 20 to get to you, but we love you too, and we love to have you on the show. So what up, bro?
Not much. I'm no D Lucky, but basketball is it's been a lot more fun the last few years. So
I do want to apologize on the show. I cut off AU Storm 20, and that's my fault totally. AU Storm 20, I love you, bro. I'm sorry I did that, but I know you respect the fact that MWD is on the line now. We love him too. So what's up, brother? MWD.
Yeah, I didn't mean to beat him.
No, you didn't do shit. It was all my fault. I've been drinking the bourbon. I'm not quite on my game, so I need to do better. But MWD's in the house
I had a
now.
little bourbon last night. So.
Wait, hold on. Why can't you have it now?
Well, I could. I just hadn't gone to get it yet.
Oh, you're much taller than you sound.
A lot taller on the radio.
You're much taller on radio. All right, so this bracket, what do you think, MWD?
I'm happy. I mean, I think it's a great draw. I mean, I don't know much about Jack State, but the guys on the CBS broadcast were talking about them being a good shooting team and that, it would be a competitive for a 15 seed. But, Auburn's got to take care of business when playing an in-state school in the NCAA tournament. So that's just up to us. Beyond there, I love the way it looks. I mean, Miami's been a good team at times this year, but they've been sliding a little bit towards the end of the year. Probably not too dissimilar from us, but they were, we should still be a step above them and a step above Wisconsin or USC or whoever else gets in there. So I think it's a great draw. Probably, compared to what we got in 2019, it's like a dream draw.
Yeah.
But probably one of the, better draws an Auburn team's ever gotten in the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, they got work to do, but this is not a terrible draw at all. I mean, Wisconsin's kind of like the specter hanging out there to keep you from an Elite Eight or Final Four game for the Final Four, and that's not terrible.
And I was really sick Friday. I thought that was like, I know we didn't have a brain drain, or I didn't know about one after that, but that was like, frankly, one of the worst performances for an Auburn basketball team.
Ooh.
At least in times that we have been competitive Auburn basketball teams. But Bruce was not rattled by it. And I mean, his focus is on the NCAA tournament. And I think what you saw today kind of showed why, there were other coaches at other schools and other leagues that lost early that are, first through third seed. I think you saw that the committee didn't really reward tournament performances this year. So it didn't hurt us in any way. I think Tennessee probably got shafted for not being at least a 2 seed, and I think A&M definitely got shafted for being left out.
Yes, for sure. I agree.
I mean, you beat Auburn and Arkansas in back-to-back days and win 9 of your last 11 games or something like that, and you get left out.
That's terrible.
Yeah, I mean that was a team that could have made the tournament exciting, and I think the NCAA, the selection committee, hurt itself by not including them. But that's not them. We're us. We're in. We've got a path. So
definitely got a path. And Kansas is really the only specter out there that you're really super scared of. And I mean, among the number 1 seeds, I mean, Baylor, Auburn doesn't want Baylor. Auburn doesn't want Gonzaga very much. And Auburn definitely doesn't want Arizona. So Kansas is not a terrible number 1, really.
Hey, if the first team we have to face is one that I'm not going to pick us to be favored against is in the Elite Eight game, I'll take that 10 times out of 10.
But that's kind of assuming, MWD, that like they're going to play like we know they can do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not going to assume that, but I'll take the path. It's great. It's up to us to show up, and that's what it really comes down to. The game plan Friday was puzzling, considering what we were up against. I don't know that we'll see that again. I think the last, including the tournament game, Bruce has experimented with a lot of things to come up. The not the pick and roll, whatever you call it, the high ball screen. Defense is adjusted to that, and I think Bruce has been experimenting with a lot of things to deal with that. So, who knows what we'll see Friday, but I think that I trust in him. He's got a plan in mind. He knows what he wants to go with for the tournament, and this is when it matters. So,
this is where it's at, man. This is where you make your legend right here.
I got my, I can drive over to Greenville from here in Atlanta, and I've got my flights and hotel booked to Chicago, so the team's just got to get us there.
Ooh, look at you. You got the flight already booked. What a badass, man.
Actually, when I went because I had to book it last minute, when I went to the Elite Eight game in 2019, I stayed at the same hotel in Chicago, ate at Michael Jordan Steak right there in the hotel. So I highly recommend that for anybody there in town. It's not just his brand name on it. It's actually really good.
Dude, are you and I going to hang out like in Chicago or something?
Absolutely. There's plenty of bourbon in Chicago.
I mean, I've already hung out with you once, but I'd like to make it twice, bro. At least.
I don't know whether there's a lot of caves in Chicago. I mean, that depends on how you define a cave, but,
There's some in Greenville, too, bro, if you know where to look. I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, you got Furman and Clemson right there. I mean, it's,
Furman. What are you talking about? The Paladins? They don't know shit. You know what I'm talking about, bro.
All right, man.
MWD, we love you calling in, bro. Appreciate you, man.
And whoever that was, I bumped off. Sorry about that. Have a good one.
See you, man. It was AU Storm 20. MWD, great call. What an absolute legend. He's basically inviting everybody to hang out with him at Michael Jordan's Steakhouse. He's going to pick up the tab. What a fucking legend that guy is, huh? Right? Is this guy not incredible? This is what the bunk is about. I'm just kidding. He didn't really say that. AU Storm 20, again, I cut you off. That is not his fault at all. It's my fault. I probably had a couple brown waters, and I'm not quite as tight as I should be, and I apologize for knocking you off. You do not deserve that. You're a great caller, and I hope you called back. I really do. Spicy P wants to know if Arizona lost a starter. I don't know. I don't know that. I don't know the answer to that. I don't follow them that closely, honestly. Lee Irby also reminds us that Auburn softball is 24-1. That is true. Auburn got a series sweep over Texas A&M this weekend in a series that was kind of messed up by that really cold day on Saturday. They were playing at home, played on Friday and won the game. Saturday was too cold to play, which it was pretty damn cold down here. Warmed up today a little bit. There was no wind, really. It was the difference. They played a doubleheader, and Auburn won them both. So Auburn swept the series with Texas A&M, and I believe they're one win away from having the best start ever to an Auburn softball season. So got to give them credit. That's a team that we got to keep an eye on. Caleb, our outstanding intern, has been covering them a little bit more than I have, and he's been updating the bunker on that stuff as well. So big ups to Caleb for that. What an absolute stud that kid is. Also, again, I'm going to do it one more time. AU Storm 20, I'm sorry I cut you off. Totally my fault. Not MWD's fault. Just want to let you know that. And, again, echoing some of the things that MWD and D. Lucky were saying, Auburn's draw was, I mean, you got to go out there and you got to get the job done, period. But this is not a bad draw for Auburn. I mean, there's not a lot of nasty teams out there lurking that they shouldn't be able to beat. Now, the question is, which Auburn are you going to see? Are you going to see the Auburn that we saw a month ago or 2 months ago when they were like on such an incredible hot streak there to open the SEC season? Or is it the team that kind of laid down a little bit, I thought, in the first 30 minutes of that Texas A&M game? Can't do that. Cannot do that. The Cleveland Browns says, let's get Christian on the horn. Yeah, we need to get some folks on the horn, yo. We need to get definitely BMAT. I mean, at the absolute minimum. Let's see if we can get BMAT on the horn and get his feelings on this. Me and BMAT are going to be bunking up in Greenville and maybe we'll get into that a little bit.
Hey, what up?
What up, B-Matt? How you doing, bro?
Good, man.
I was just calling in from the show to see how you were doing, bro.
I'm doing good. I'm watching Auburn baseball. They're trying to come back in this game. They're down 4-3 in the eighth, and it's supposed to be a 7-inning game. So they got to get a run or two to have a chance there.
Oh, it's an exciting game. Okay.
It is thrilling.
Hey, tell me about what you think about you and I hanging out in Greenville.
I think we're going to tear that place up. Is what I think.
That's what I was thinking too. That's exactly what I was
And
thinking.
I think it's a great bracket for Auburn. I really like the setup. I think Auburn's got a chance to, if they play well, if they show up and they're, don't have a game where they go 3 of 30 from 3-point, range, they've got a chance.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, you got Jacksonville State, the first game, a team that likes to shoot threes, but you think Auburn can get through that. What about USC and Miami, two teams that, I don't know, that's a little bit tough, but it could be worse.
Yeah, I mean, I think neither of those teams jump out as scary teams for Auburn. I think Auburn's got a chance to definitely get out and get to the Sweet 16. And I would expect a huge home court advantage for Auburn there in Greenville too. We've seen people on the board talk about buying tickets even before this announcement was made. So I'm sure there's going to be a nice home court advantage for Auburn in Greenville.
Are you going to drink some brown water with me?
I might drink some beer while you have some brown water. Yeah.
Are you scared of brown water?
No, that's just not my preference.
Oh, word. Okay, I got you. And how did you have was Tampa okay? I know Auburn lost in the first game, but did you end up having a good time?
Yeah, we had a good time. Me and Yvonne went down there, and after Auburn lost, we got to go see some friends I went to college with that live in Tampa, and we went out and had a nice dinner and a couple of drinks and hung out and talked to all those old stories and stuff. So yeah, we had a good time.
Nice. All right, so we're gonna do the podcast on Tuesday. Maybe we'll leave on Wednesday. Is that what you're thinking?
That sounds good. Remember, we got Pro Day Tuesday also, so it's gonna be a full day.
Oh yeah, you right about that, bro. We got to figure that out.
Yep.
I don't know how we're gonna do that. We'll have to think about that a little bit.
Well, I mean, Pro Day starts early. It's usually over, noonish, early afternoon. So, we can still do it. We just have to be a little bit later.
Yeah, word. All right, B-Matt. Appreciate you, brother.
Cool.
Keep an eye on baseball.
All right.
See you, bro.
Hey.
There he is, Brian Matthews, our H-team reporter, the man who is a doer of many things. Of course, B-Matt. We also want to talk to Stoltze, I think. I think we would want to. I'll give him a call anyway and see what he's thinking about it. And see what he's up to. I don't think he's going to go with us, but he keeps his eye on it. There's no doubt about that. No doubt at all. Did I miss somebody?
Hello?
Hey, Stoltze, it's JG.
Hey, buddy.
We're on the show.
Oh, are we now? Are we now?
Where are you located in a general sense?
I'm in Auburn.
And are you fired up about this bracket or not?
I am absolutely fired up about the bracket. I think they got a good draw.
I did. That's kind of what we were thinking too, man. It's not too bad.
Yeah, I think it's a good draw. I think they could. I mean, USC has shown that they could be tough at times, but I think it's going to be a home crowd for Auburn, which I mean it was in Tampa as well. But I think this team is ready for a run.
Word. How was Tampa?
It was great. Yeah, it was great. Had a good time. The outcome wasn't what we were expected, but we had a good time, and I had some good food and some good drinks, and it was a good stadium. It was a good arena. It's a good arena. I like the arena that they had it in. It wasn't too big. It's about 20,000 people.
I saw you on the Facebook. You were watching maybe the UK game with some UK people. Is that right?
Yeah, I ran into 20 people I knew from my hometown.
And were you cheering against UK or how'd that do?
I left before it got out of hand.
Word. Okay.
So yeah, I had to go to dinner that night. So that was the Vanderbilt game. That wasn't the Tennessee game.
Yeah.
So I was driving back. And it took me a good 9 hours to drive back.
Ooh, that's a long way to go, bro.
Yeah, traffic was horrible.
Did you go?
And,
did you go to Tifton, Georgia, and then across? Is that what you did?
Yeah, but traffic like it took me an hour to get from like 30 miles.
Ooh, is that near the Legends? Is that near? I'm sorry, the Villages.
No, in Ocala, near Ocala.
Oh yeah.
So it took me like traffic was stopped for some reason. I don't know. I'm not sure. There was a wreck around Gainesville too. So
It's tough.
it took me a while.
All
Yeah.
right.
So, but it was a good time. I had a good time. Met some good people. Saw some friends from my home area, like you said, and yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Can't complain.
You can't complain about that.
No, and I got a free place to stay in Greenville.
Oh yeah, we're looking forward to that.
Well, you're not staying with me.
No, I know that. I know we're staying where we are, but I mean, it's good that you're going to be up that way.
Yeah, I'll be up the way because you gave me permission. So
We'll see what we
very
can do.
happy about that.
We'll see what we can do on that.
We can see what we can do, but I can watch the game from home.
You mean Greenville home, right?
My Greenville home, yeah.
I don't want that to happen, but the NCAA can be kind of
Yeah,
mean.
I know. And I'll cover baseball at the same time.
word.
Still in for BMAT. So they have a big series next weekend.
Yeah, they absolutely do. And then we also have football practice going on.
Yeah,
so.
they have nothing going on between Thursday and Saturday though. So
That's probably a good idea.
It'll be interesting talking to Harson in person tomorrow.
Is that going to happen?
Yeah,
That's exciting.
it's in person. Yeah.
Could you maybe shake hands with him?
I don't know. Maybe, I guess.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
If he wants. If he wants to.
If he wants to.
I will.
He'd give you a hat, too.
Oh, he gave me a hat, yeah. But I quickly got rid of that.
Yeah, I know. You got to do that.
Yeah, it'll be fun to talk to the him in person and the assistants and the players as well.
Word.
So, upcoming week.
Yeah,
so,
it's going to
I'm
be great.
looking forward to that. I mean, it'll be much different from last season, so
Yeah.
it'll be great.
All right, Stolze, we love you, bro. Appreciate you.
Love you too.
And we'll see you before too long.
I'll see you on Tuesday, I guess.
All right, bro. See ya.
Okay, bye.
Bye. There he is, Stolze. I think he was out and about. Did y'all think he was out and about somewhere? I don't know where he was. I felt like he was like, I don't know, out and about. Shoot, so we got football going on too. Although, I mean, basketball is really the big story here, but we got football going on. Practice opens here shortly this week, and then we got a pro day on Tuesday. So practice, I think, opens Wednesday. Is that right? We got 80 Storm 20 on the line. 80 Storm 20. Dude, I'm sorry about what happened earlier. That was my fault totally.
Jay, I'm not upset.
But don't blame
I am
it.
disappointed.
Whatever you do is don't blame don't blame MWD. He didn't do that. That was all me.
Oh, no, I just, we just been through a lot. It's figured, I was on the brain drains back during the pandemic, talking about life. I thought we were a little tired in that, but I mean, I understand. It's fine.
AU Storm.
No big deal.
Did we learn
just
anything
disappointed.
Did we learn anything from the pandemic? Did you learn anything personally?
Yeah, a little bit. Did you?
Fuck yeah, I did. I learned a lot.
I mean, are we about to go down this dark hole here?
I mean, we could. I mean, I'm open to
I'd rather
it.
talk basketball.
Okay, fuck it. We'll talk basketball. What do you about this draw, man?
Hey, I mean, honestly, I was getting a little nervous there towards them, releasing the seedings and the seed lines, but I'm glad we got the draw we did. I mean, Jacksonville State is definitely the weakest of all 15 seeds. So, with that, that's a pretty big draw in my opinion, and one that I think we can hopefully take advantage of. And look, Miami and USC aren't. I think we talked on the show Friday about how we feel like against teams that have a little more brute down low, play a little more physical down low, we seem to struggle with. I don't think Miami or USC has any of those guys. So I'm hoping that that's a pretty good matchup for us either way. I know Miami's beat Duke this year, had a pretty good year in the ACC. USC's okay, but that seems like some favorable matchups. And then you never know what happens once you get to Sweet 16, who, we all probably expect Wisconsin to get there, but who knows? You never know. That's why you play the games.
That's why March is so weird, man. Weird shit happens sometimes,
Yeah, I mean, look, this tournament is as wide open as you could probably ever think it is, just with, like, the matchups. I mean, Kentucky possibly having to play Murray State in the second round, that is one team I would not want to play right now.
Hell no, you wouldn't want to play them. Of course, they're fucking good, man.
I mean, they're so well coached. It's crazy how Kentucky could probably play Murray State. What a weird matchup. And I mean, I know Tennessee probably should have been a 2 seed, but if you look at their route, they probably have a pretty easy route as a 3 seed, to be honest with you.
Dude, to kind of dovetail on what you were saying, Kentucky's got to play Murray State and then maybe Purdue. Fuck them, man.
I mean, it's great. I mean, and that could have been us in that 2 seed. So that's why I'm like, man, we came out. If you're ever looking for a fresh start, which we needed after that showing against Texas A&M, need to get some light, some energy, that can rejuvenate us a little bit to say, hey, we got a good matchup here, especially even as a fan base. We need to get behind this team a little bit. Quit, fighting against each other on Twitter and all that stuff, and let's just go out and support this team, go out to Greenville and see what happens. I mean, if we at least make a little bit, at least 1 or 2 more threes against Texas A&M, shoot a little better in the first half, we win that game. But you just never know. So I like our matchup. I think we can come out there. You never know what happens in March. Jabari could take over. Maybe KD goes 1 of 14 instead of 0 of 14. And you just never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
I know, man. A&M game, man. Just about 30 minutes of just kind of what I thought was passivity, man. You can't go 30 minutes, man.
Well, I mean, we saw that all year against teams on the road or even a neutral site. I mean, you remember that South Florida game in that same arena?
Oh, yeah.
That whole first half, we just do that. And we didn't do that in the Bahamas, in Atlantis. Like, can we get back to the way we were coming out playing in the first half against those teams? Or even when we play at home? We just never saw that on the road this year. And so it's, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
All right, hey, I just want to call and give you a hard time. So
I deserve it. I deserve it. I hung up on you, and I never want to do that to you, bro. So I'm sorry. I hopefully that'll never happen again.
Yeah. No worries, man. I appreciate it.
Right,
We'll talk in the y'all have fun in Greenville. We'll talk soon.
We'll see you then, bro. See you, bro.
See you.
There he is, AU Storm 20, who I totally hung up on earlier. He did not deserve that. That was messed up. I don't know. I don't have a good answer for that. All right, so here's the situation. So Auburn's going to play on Friday. It's going to be a Friday-Sunday situation in Greenville. Taking on the Jacksonville State Gamecocks there in the first game. We got football practice going. So me and B-Man will probably go up there on Wednesday, and we'll probably do I'll do a show probably, I don't know, Thursday, Friday. We'll just kind of work it out. We'll work out how we're going to do the shows. MWD says, one thing I was going to ask about and forgot, how much does being in a bigger, spacey arena affect this Auburn team's shooting? I don't know. I mean, it didn't work very well in Amalie Arena. That's for damn sure. They didn't shoot very well at all. From a fan perspective, it's kind of eerily quiet, and the NCAA tournament's going to be even worse. It's going to be even quieter, I think, because it's more teams that aren't involved. So it's going to be very quiet. It's not going to be a fan situation. You got to shoot in a big ass arena, and it sounds easy, but it can be tough. Mobile alum jumping in. Hey, JG, how you doing? Thoughts on our seed in Jack State? Yeah, I thought that was a really good. I mean, Auburn's got work to do, but that's a good draw. This is not a lot of resistance. This is not a lot of crazy teams. I mean, Kansas is good. Iowa's good. USC is pretty good, but you've kind of avoided the specters out there that would really scare you, like Arizona, Baylor. You've avoided some of that. So Auburn's still got to get back to what they were doing a month ago and playing really good basketball and playing to their strengths and not letting physical guards kind of mess up everything they do. But that's a good draw. That's just my opinion. The AU Taxman says, trying to work out this, is it Chicago? Situation, I'll be there on Sunday night. I don't know about that. Let's see. D in Atlanta says, Amelie is an NHL arena, hockey versus basketball, longer floors, sometimes more depth behind goals. This guy sounds like he knows something about arenas. I mean, I don't know specifically what's going on there, but that's crazy. It's something to consider for sure. Stu Pup jumping in with a super chat right here. He says, right now, Auburn's most difficult opponent is Auburn. There's some truth to that. If you want me to be totally honest with you, there's some truth to that. Auburn's biggest limiting factor in this bracket, short of Kansas, is Auburn. Is the truth. Mobile alum agrees. So right, Stu Pup. Yeah, I agree. He's right. It's a matter of just kind of understanding who you are after, 32 games? Knowing what you can do and what you can't do and going out there and doing it. It's got to be done. That's all there is to it. All right. Mobile Alone wants to know, JG, you think we'll have lots of fans this weekend? Fuck yes, I do. I think they're always going to have a lot of fans there. They'll be competing with Duke. With Krzyzewski's farewell tour is going to be going through Greenville as well. Now, Duke is not in this bracket, but they're in the West region, but they're going to be playing in Greenville because of the way the pod's set up. So there's going to be a lot of Duke fans there, which Auburn didn't really care about, and they don't really have a strong feeling about Auburn one way or another. But I'm telling you, Duke fans suck. So prepare yourselves if you're going up that way. And it's only like, what is it, about an hour and a half from Atlanta? Now, Mobile Alum obviously is not in Atlanta, but just telling you that's about where it is. So that's not too bad. Hopefully we get out there and do those things. Cleveland Brown thinks those tickets are going to be expensive. Sure would love to hang out with you guys. Me and B-Matt are going to be up there. We're going to go up Wednesday, I would imagine. Probably stay maybe in Commerce or somewhere out that way, and then we'll be in the city on Thursday. We got to do our thing. And game on Friday. Games on Friday. So that's what we're going to do. We'll wrap it up there, guys. Appreciate you guys. We're going to be doing the brain drains, of course, from Greenville. Hopefully we pick it up there and do them from Chicago and perhaps New Orleans as well. We'll see how it goes. So until then, we'll keep your feet on the ground. Keep reaching for the stars. Check you guys later. See you guys. We'll do the rundown on Tuesday. After that, we'll see what happens. Until then, keep your feet on the ground. Keep reaching for the stars. Love you guys. Appreciate y'all. Peace.